She's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's over at the safe haven. You're checking 12, we'll check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2-1 started, you shot us.
Also, still saying no. With this.
2412.
No. Offender in custody.
Yes, good morning. It feels so good to say good morning. Oh my gosh, it feels like it's been, I don't know how long since I've been on in the morning. When was the last time I was even on in the morning? I don't even remember. One of the days last week, just one. About time. Woke up this morning, I was like, so I'm sorry about the last minute live or notification, so thank you for hopping in. Even after I hit the notification, I was like, oh, watch them show up after I already made the notification. But so far, we're good. So we're going to do some daytime chat. What's up? Hope you all are doing good. Well rested. Hardy sounded so good this morning, but I never made it. I never made it. Instead, when it comes to this footage and stuff, and the footage that I'm going to continue to get as I go to different places here coming up as the weather starts to change, because I do drive. Instead of going to Hardee's this morning, I was looking on Amazon, and I was like, you know what, with all this footage that I plan on getting some here pretty soon, as soon as I've been waiting to find out when my side's even going to be done for this restoration stuff, and I still don't know. So that's been kind of the hamper. Otherwise, I would have been able to get something, but I might just make a spontaneous trip somewhere for a couple days or something sometime. And then, but because of that, I was like, with all the footage, it's not only the footage, but it's the eye that you have for the footage. And I think that's important whenever you go to record footage, because you always have that in the back of your mind. That's why with mine, there wasn't a dash, clear images, and so you got to have an eye for it too. And I was like, with this footage, I need to add an extension to that footage eye when it comes to what I like to share with you guys. So I just went ahead and got me a drone this morning instead of going to Hardee's. So I'm going to get it here in a couple days. I'm going to fool around with it, and that will be a new addition to the show whenever it comes to the footage of locations that we're talking about. Not only will you get the footage that you've seen from the show up to this point, but we're going to start adding drone footage into that footage as well. So I can't wait to introduce that on the next couple places that I've already had on my mind that I was going to go to. I've just been waiting on this damn restoration, and I'm getting tired of waiting, and I'm getting tired of not knowing, and I might just say fuck it and take off for a couple days and just go do what I wanted to do. I don't know. I'm tired of waiting. So what's up, everybody? Thank you for hopping in. So I can't wait. Just wait. We're going to be introducing some drone footage to the community here soon. I can't wait. I'm excited. Good morning, Jacqueline. Ticket number 1, My Lee Golden. Ticket number 2, Kib Kitty. Ticket number 4, thank you. In the end, we will remember not only the words of our enemies, the silence of our friends. Martin Luther King Jr. This is for all the friends who won't speak up. Thank you, Storm Dancer. Because, that's why some of us are in the position we're in, because we have those voices. Just kind of like I've always mentioned before about like who I am. I was bullied until 3rd, 4th grade, and then that's when I just didn't take it no more, and I ended up taking 2 bullies on at the same time, and whoop their ass. And normally, when you're in that situation, a lot of times those children end up becoming bullies too. But instead, what it did to me is it made me stand up for the people all through school. It made me stand up for the people that couldn't stand up for themselves, whether, their own fears or, the size or whatever it was. I was always quick to step in to stand up for somebody, even if I didn't know them. I was quick to stand up for somebody against bullies because I didn't appreciate how they treated me. And so when you take that and then you put it into this, that's kind of how you have to approach it. I'm not afraid to stand up to people, to speak. I'm not afraid to say things. I'm not afraid to get the threats that I get and continue to do the work that I do. And so when you have that in you, it's only right to use it for good. It's only right to use it for souls other than your own that can't defend themselves. And so that's why we do what we do. That's why I protect the community so much. And that's what we're about. And we're just not about any bullshit that comes with it, because, there's a yin and a yang. I just don't like the yang, and I just get rid of it as soon as possible. What's up, Diana? Ticket number 7. But you all know that. Skittles, ticket number 8. I'm just excited to be on this morning. Oh, it feels so good. I missed it. I was just getting so bummed out. I was like, it's 3 weeks, man. 3 weeks, and I've only had 3-day shows. Yeah, you know how much I'm missing? What's up, Just Saying? How are you? Thank you for hopping in. Charlie Brown, ticket number 17 and present. Appreciate you. What's up, Moonlight Rays? Deb Ray, how you doing? Moonlight ticket 19 times 2. What's up, John Morgan? Good morning to you, too. Ticket number 20, Christina. Ticket number 21. Thank you for that on Twitter. Thanks for your help on Twitter, too. So hopefully, I can't wait to introduce that. Some drone footage, you know? Not just the straight from the dash or walking around. This baby's going to be up flying around, going through spots we can't get to on foot. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Latitude ticket number 24. I can't wait. It's the eye, you know? It's the eye. Because, man, when we were watching that Court TV episode, it's like, bro, get out. You know, run the defrost for a little while. Go to the gas station and clean your fucking windshield off. Something. That shit was so fuzzy. And somebody mentioned it looked like Vaseline. And I was like, yeah, that's a good. It looked like Vaseline was like wiped all over it. What's up, Thinkers Think? How are you doing? Yes. It drove me nuts. 3 weeks, 3 shows in 3 weeks for the daytime. You know what I mean? It's messed up. What's up, Holly? Good morning to you. Hiya. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be sweet. All right, there's some breaking news out there. We're going to go ahead and go through that. It's the daytime true crime show. So anything that is breaking, we will take a pause from what we're talking about to go into the breaking news. If there is anything breaking, let me know. I will keep looking to see if there is any documents that are going to be dropped, because after that last court hearing in Latah County, I imagine something's going to be dropping here. I imagine something, because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff being said. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on the breaking news, and we'll go ahead and get in and talk about all the stuff that we've missed. Thank you all for hanging out this morning. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do the switcheroo, and then we'll get into it. Thank you all. Appreciate you. All right, so I always like to highlight other content creators. So instead of going to the actual video, I'm going to highlight AG, great supporter of the show. I'm going to highlight them on Twitter. So here's the tweet for this. And if you want the News Nation video itself, I can go ahead and give you the link to that. But we're going to go ahead and share AG's status here. Thank you, Christina. I don't know what was up with the Vaseline all over the all over the window, but all right. So this is, I mean, come on. What? I'm sure there's more neighbors that took video of it. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna check this out real quick.
You remember I told you about Ashton Brady. He was the neighbor who lives right across from Jordan Willis, who just by happenstance looked out at the exact moment that 911 was being called. Ashton, we know now that was Clayton's fiance that actually discovered those bodies, called 911.
Yeah, because he probably heard somebody screaming fucking crazy, because if you heard what I heard overnight, I would scream too. Did you guys hear the newest stuff that came out overnight? One of them was sitting in a chair, yo. One of them was sitting in a chair.
And alerted the authorities. Just walk me through what you saw in that moment.
So basically, I was just going, turn off all my lights. I was getting ready for bed, locking the doors. I went to lock my front door, and I saw a woman come out of the backyard on her phone, and she looked distressed because she kept looking back towards the house, and I thought it was weird. But I just moved in, so I really didn't know much, and so I just went back to my room. 10 minutes later, I saw an ambulance drive by, and I said, well, that's just weird. Something's going on. Went to the front room, looked out, and I saw that there was already 3 cop cars, and there was a man detained, and the woman was talking to the other police. And basically, I kind of watched that conspire for an hour or two. The man eventually left. The police searched the house, went through the backyards and everything, and I had no idea what had happened. And the next morning, I saw the news that they had found 3 dead bodies, and I just was kind of in disbelief. I was like, wow, I watched that happen.
Right, and actually we're looking at that video that you shot right there on the top left.
Yeah, man, the zoom in, zoom out. You're going to make somebody sick doing that shit, bro.
Left corner of your screen. So basically you're saying that's the video where you're actually looking out and you can see Jordan Willis.
Thank you, Lucy Lulu.
That's probably within the first 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, oh my goodness, something serious is going on at least. So yeah.
So your red flags were going off in that moment, but even before.
Well, Christina, it's like we said because in the very beginning of the case, all right, and you can go back to my old shows and look. In the very beginning of the case, I was questioning the 8-hour time difference a lot. I got a lot of shit talked to me back then. I got a lot of shit talked about me back then because I didn't stop questioning the 8-hour delay. Back then, way back then, a couple weeks after, I'm sitting there getting hate, and my response to them all the way back then in the beginning of the case was as if it was 2 men, y'all wouldn't be saying the same thing. Because if you're going to keep, you're going to keep talking shit about me, you're going to keep talking shit to me because I'm questioning the 8-hour delay a couple weeks after the crime took place. I'm sorry. I questioned the same shit back then as I questioned in this shit the first day we started talking about this. And it's damn true what Harsh says. That's why I told everybody back then if it was 2 dudes, y'all wouldn't be harping on me. It's just facts. And look, we have a situation right here where it's a dude, and guess what? It's okay. It's okay. So for the same people back then that wanted to talk shit to me and about me for questioning an 8-hour delay just because they were female, fuck you. That's what I have to say.
For that, right? Because you saw some of these victims' cars that were right here parked in front of your house, and that also kind of alerted you, right? Because that was unusual.
Yeah, we had just moved in, but that week we had never seen those cars there. And then all of a sudden, that whole weekend, there was cars parked right in front of our drive, and they never left. And they stayed there until the police came, and even after that, we found out they were deceased. Yes, those cars never left.
And obviously that was something that raised your suspicions at all. Tell me, I know you hadn't lived here for very long, right? But tell me at all about Jordan Willis, what you know about him.
How would he know about him? He just moved there, dude. And I can't watch this zoom in, zoom out shit, man. It's making me sick.
I mean, did you ever see him out and about? Was he friendly? Did he come by and talk to you ever?
Honestly, I have never seen him out. I never saw him or talked to him. So I cannot speak for that. Honestly, I do not know.
How about the fact?
I'm sorry, when you wait 8 fucking hours to call and they're supposedly your friends that you took a picture with a couple hours ago, and how one of them couldn't imagine without any of them? Like, come on, if y'all are that good of friends, shit. If I'm living with a friend and my friend don't call for 8 fucking hours, I guarantee you I'm haunting that motherfucker. Like, whatever I need to do to be a ghost, I'm haunting that motherfucker. Like, yo, you ain't gonna do this to somebody else. You ain't gonna do it to somebody else. Fucking call, man. Because what happens? Listen, with the type of injuries, you're probably not gonna last very long. But damn. It takes Moscow PD 2 fucking minutes to get there. 2. Well, it should. It took them 4, but 2 minutes. I'm sorry. It don't smell right. It don't smell right, and it never has. And It's just how it is. It's called reality.
That's just something that is so
What's up,
strange.
Yvette? Thank you for hopping in. Uh-oh. Did it cut off? All right. Hold on 1 second. We'll get to that here. It's actually 6 minutes. All right. So shout out AG here. Definitely, if you're on Twitter, swing by, retweet it, hit the heart on it, and hit the follow on AG. Always has a lot of great posts on Twitter. All right. So this is the interview here, and this is the News Nation link. And here we go.
You remember I told you about Ashton Brady. He was the neighbor who lives right across from Jordan Willis, who just by happenstance looked out at the exact moment that 911 was being called. Ashton, we know now that that was Clayton's fiance that actually discovered those bodies, called 911 and alerted the authorities. Just walk me through what you saw in that moment.
So basically, I was just going, turn off all my lights. I was getting ready for bed, locking the doors. I went to lock my front door, and I saw a woman come out of the backyard on her phone, and she looked distressed because she kept looking back towards the house, and I thought it was weird. But I just moved in, so I really didn't know much, and so I just went back to my room. 10 minutes later, I saw an ambulance drive by, and I said, well, that's just weird. Something's going on. Went to the front room, looked out, and I saw that there was already 3 cop cars, and there was a man detained, and the woman was talking to the other police. And basically, I kind of watched that conspire for an hour or two.
Yeah, from the get-go, you know? And now with the newest report that one of them was sitting in a chair overnight. I don't know if you guys saw it. Report came out overnight. Dude, one of them was sitting in a chair. Yo. Just because you see him sitting in a chair doesn't mean it's not foul play. Doesn't mean it's not suspicious. To say 100%, man, I'm going to tell you right now, ain't nothing in life 100%. Ain't nothing in life 100%. What the hell in life is 100%? Nothing. Nothing. The DNA isn't even 100%. It's 99.99999. DNA's not even 100%. How can you be 100%? What's up, Phidippus number 9? How can you be 100% when there is no 100%? Well, that is. Well, maybe not taxes, because, you know, maybe one day it won't exist. Yeah, right. But, you know, I mean, I guess both of them may not ever exist one day either. But yeah, 99.99999999999 is all 99.99999. 100%. These people. That's why I said from the first day, this shit's gonna be as big as Idaho4. Watch this shit. And this fucking depends on the autopsy. It depends on the autopsy. I have a feeling the autopsy is gonna be shoddy though. So even with the autopsy, I feel like it's going to be shoddy. Look at Stephen Smith's case. They labeled that a hit and run. And there were multiple officers going to the coroner, the pathologist, saying, yo, this don't match. Well, this is what it is. And then 7 years later, they come out and say, okay, we're going to switch it to a homicide. Well, what's up, Ashley? They're saying that he was apprehended that night because I guess according to him, he watched him cuffed and detained. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure he's not the only neighbor that was recording anything either. And damn, man, I would have walked outside. I would have walked outside and recorded that shit. I would have went up to the street at least. Shit, that's your property, bro. Up to the sidewalk. You can stand on your damn yard all you want. Get out there. Get that footage, bro. It's once in a life.
The man eventually left. The police searched the house.
I don't
went to the
know.
backyards and everything, and I had no idea what had happened. And the next morning, I saw the news that they had found 3 dead bodies, and I just was kind of in this.
You know what? I'm gonna put a poll up here while this plays. I'm gonna ask you guys: did the crime, or how do I put this? Can't call it a crime right now. What do you? Did the event happen outside? I don't know what to call. I don't know what to. What would we call that? What would I put that up as a poll? It's not a crime right now. We don't know. And if you say event, then people will be like, what event? Incident? Did the here we go. Did the passings happen in the backyard? There we go. All right, let me play this. I'll put this poll up here.
Disbelief. I was like, wow, I watched that happen.
Right, and actually we're looking at that video that you shot right there on the top left corner of your screen. So basically you're saying that's the video where you're actually looking out and you can see Jordan Willis being detained.
That's probably within the first 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, oh my goodness, something serious is going on at least. So yeah.
So your red flags were going off in that moment, but even before that, right? Because you saw some of these victims' cars that were right here parked in front of your house, and that also kind of alerted you, right? Because that was unusual.
Yeah, we had just moved in, but that week we had never seen those cars there. And then all of a sudden that whole weekend there was cars parked right in front of our drive, and they never left. And they stayed there until the police came, and even after that we found out they're deceased. But those cars never left.
And obviously that was something that raised your suspicions at all. Tell me, I know you hadn't lived here for very long, right? But tell me at all about Jordan Willis, what you know about him. I mean, did you ever see him out and about? Was he friendly? Did he come by and talk to you ever?
Honestly, I've never seen him out. I never saw him or talked to him, so I cannot speak for that. Honestly, I do not know.
How about the fact that just something that is so strange, this case in general is bizarre and we don't have many answers. But the fact of the matter is 3 men were outside for 2 days on this backyard, one sitting up in a chair, 2 laying down on their backs, frozen to death. I mean, how do you wrap your mind around all that information?
It's a lot, honestly. I imagine it has something to do with a bad drug or something, but it's strange that how long it occurred for people for something to notice like that. If it happened on a Sunday, that's a long time, and I feel like something should have been said, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's hard to say out loud because you don't have all the information, but the fact of the matter is 3 men are now dead. Does it feel like you're getting, or your community is getting, the answers it deserves right now? That seems to be the big issue that the families have, is it just doesn't feel like they're getting closure because they're not getting answers.
Yeah, I feel for the families that they just want to know what really happened. And I feel like if we need to know, we need to know. I'm sure answers are going to come out, but I know a lot of people are wondering what happened around here. That's for sure.
What is the talk of the town? How are people talking about it still?
What's
because
up, Rosie?
No doubt about it, the whole world is looking at this case and talking about it. So how do you and your friends talk about it, process it, work through this whole story?
We just kind of sit down and talk about it. Sometimes we're just randomly, we'll be talking about like what could have really happened. Like how do your 3 buddies, just you not notice them for 2 days outside in the backyard? So it's really strange for me and all of our friends. It's really hard for me to say.
Kelly?
I feel like it had to have been just maybe an accident. I don't know. It needs more investigation though, I think.
Ashton, hang tight. I think Ashley Banfield has a question. Go ahead, Ashley.
I do. I don't think he can hear me with an IFB, but if he can't, pass this question on. Can you ask Ashton if he saw the bodies coming out of the house? Because we learned tonight on Chris Cuomo that the father of one of the men knew that one of the men was died or frozen in a position in a lawn chair on the back porch. And I wondered if he saw gurneys come out with 3 bodies, or if he saw something unusual in the position of the bodies that were brought out of the house.
Ain't that crazy, you guys? See, I told you. It came out last night. Dude's in a chair, yo. That's why I was like, damn, I hope I can get on this morning. I'm tired of missing out on stuff.
Sure. We want to know.
Even though I've been pretty early with all this stuff compared to other people, so I appreciate all your guys' information that you send mixed in with all the stuff that I'm searching for, because we are able to come out with this stuff, you know, a lot of the times before those huge channels do, and I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
What you saw beyond those initial things that you've shared already, in specific about the bodies coming out of this house. Were you still awake at that time? Did you witness gurneys or medical examiners actually coming out with these bodies or taking them out?
So I actually did not. After that, everyone kind of cleared out. So I didn't know what had
What's up,
happened. So I
detective?
just went to bed. I thought it was just a misunderstanding or something between a wife and a husband, but that wasn't it at all. So I went to sleep, went to work the next day. And when I was at work, I got an email or a message from a friend, you know, sending me the picture of the article about the dead people. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I honestly did not see an ambulance actually gurney anyone out or anything.
What do you remember about the conditions during those days here in Kansas City? Obviously, these bodies were found frozen. Do you remember it being cold, freezing? Obviously, you saw this woman talking on her cell phone at night, 10 o'clock at night in the winter weather. And so that raised your alarms. But what do you remember just about the temperatures or the weather around that time?
Wouldn't that be scary as fuck? Wouldn't that be scary as fuck to like go back there, right? Number one, I still don't understand what fucking side they confirmed. Maybe it was the left side, because here, let me finish what he's saying, and then I'm gonna look at the footage.
It was cold. It was really cold. I'd gone hunting that Sunday, and we hunted a pond, and we actually had to put pretty much an ice prop in there to make the pond open. So I mean, if that tells you anything, we could walk on the ice. That's how thick it was. So I mean, it was definitely below freezing, and not temperatures you want to just be outside hanging out in with no clothes.
Yeah, enough to
Oh my gosh, and no clothes. Oh,
raise red flags. Ashton, thank you very much for sharing.
so he was frozen to a damn chair. What the fuck, yo? What the fuck, yo? And you had one dude inside the porch. Okay, so the only reason I can think of is because it looks like a lot of the cars are on the left side of the street. So what I'm thinking is this is why, because they were all parked along here. Wait, that turns, it's got to be that direction though. So he must live, let's see. So it doesn't matter. It's coming from around here. I believe he probably is right here looking that way. And so he's pretty much right across from there. Now, that's probably why they saw, excuse me, from the left side and not necessarily the right side, where you see the gate that can be opened pretty easily. So let me go to this picture here. So over here, this gate can obviously, it's a dual. So they're pretty flimsy. It looks flimsy. That's why it looked like one of them was open, because it probably was a cheap fence that didn't have a brace to go over the top to prevent the sag. And so that's probably, or it was opened already, but it makes sense now why they saw it from the left side, if it's correct from what the news is reporting, because then when you look at all the vehicles over there, they are on the left side. So if somebody was frozen in a chair next to the garden, then if it's that late at night as well, you probably are, because you parked on the left, you probably are walking up to the left side of the fence, and you're going to flash your flashlight back there. I'm trying to get a picture of the backyard here. All right, so this is the backyard. I'm wondering if it was one of these one of these chairs right here. Because that chair's kind of by the garden. I wonder if it was one of those. And that would be by a garden. Because why would they, you know what I mean? I bet you it was this table here. Because why would they go put a chair out over here, you know, off by this? Why? You're just going to sit at this table. I bet you that table's where it's at. The chairs are thick padded. So they're not even any of these chairs. What's up, AG? Yeah, there's a fence all the way around it. Cuz here's the latest picture. See it right there. There's a fence that goes all around it right there and on the other side. And when you see the news footage, you can see the fence next to the garage too. It's fenced in all the way around. And that's why I was saying when I was looking at the news coverage, you could tell that there's a part that is it's not totally closed. Got tired in the third they placed in chair. You think it happened inside? Yeah, it still has that fence. All right, let me get. There's another one here. Oh, I know what that one. Let me see. Earhart, Long Island, SK, evidence. Oh my gosh! Did you guys hear that Elon Musk put a chip implant in somebody's freaking brain? What the hell is up with that? All right. Here's another video.
Alex Capriello joins me live now from Kansas City. So you've been learning a lot, not only just today, but just in the last few minutes, something about the
What's up,
night
Mary?
Of the discovery. Somebody witnessed something. What have you found out?
Yeah, what's interesting is we've been here all day, but when you do a lot of door knocking during the middle of the day, you don't get a lot of answered doors. People are at work. And so when we were out here setting up our live shot, we actually just had a neighbor approach us who lives right across from the house where this all went down, which is, of course, right here behind me.
Ticket number
He
5.
really filled in some gaps about what that night looked like when the investigators first got here. First and foremost, he said just by happenstance, he happened to be looking out the window at the time that Clayton McGeeney's fiance actually came here to snoop around for herself.
Ticket number.
Remember, she was the one who actually discovered the
in the
body in the first
30s.
place
What's
and
up,
called
Leo?
911. So from this neighbor's firsthand eyewitness report, he says he watched her actually leave the backyard, this gate right here behind me, call 911. And he said shortly after that, this whole street was flooded with cops. Meanwhile, he's filming the whole thing from his cell phone, from his front window, looking out, just wondering what the heck could be happening right here in his neighborhood, right across from his street. We're working on getting that video to you so that way you can show your viewers. But let me just describe it. He tells me that actually that person at the center of all this speculation, Jordan Willis, was actually handcuffed and detained right here against this brick wall of the house while police were asking questions. He said he filmed as actual.
See? So that's the side, that's the thing I'm talking about. So it's open. It's not hanging down. It's open. That's the dual fence door because it opens like this. It's open. Why'd she have to jump a fence?
Investigators were searching through this entire house using flashlights to actually comb through each and every room, trying to find any other clues or evidence. Eventually, he said Willis was let go out of that handcuffs. He was taken to a car, presumably questioned more. But this was a big mystery that entire night. Nobody knew what was going on. And it wasn't until the news reports started filling in that next day that people started getting some answers. Of course, to your point, still more questions than we have actual answers, but at least we have a better idea of what that actual scene looked like that night.
Right.
I know that you're getting that video, and that as soon as you get it, we'll try and get it on the air. But quickly, you were able to get an interview about the view out of Jordan Willis's kitchen, and there's a big sliding glass door. What'd you learn?
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people here are a little skeptical about the story that we're hearing.
Right.
In specific, Jordan Willis's story, the fact that he slept through 48 hours without actually having any sort of inclination that his friends were dead outside. And so most people that I'm here in the neighborhood that I'm speaking to tell me that they just don't know Jordan. He seems to be a bit of a hermit. He doesn't come out. He doesn't really talk to neighbors. He has 2 dogs, we know, but he doesn't really do much dog walking. And so a lot of people are a little weirded out by this whole story. Here's what one neighbor told me.
Willis did say that he didn't see his friends out, but he has a sliding glass door going right into his backyard, and it's in his kitchen, so like you have to see it. I don't know, I just feel like there's no way you didn't see your friends dead outside.
So even if he didn't contribute to their deaths, it's a little weird. He may not be telling the whole truth.
Right, I mean, people were calling him, people were knocking on the door, and he wasn't answering to anybody, so I just feel like that's odd that you wouldn't say anything.
I think it's just a matter of time. You know, I trust a lot of the people who are like involved in investigating the case, and you know, I'm just waiting for any answers as a community member. I think that's what we're all waiting for.
And we do know now that Jordan Willis no longer lives here. This was a rental property that he lived in, but these neighbors tell me that they saw a U-Haul truck within about a week and then packing it all up and moving out. It's empty now. There is one light that stays up on the upper floor, but the neighbor here tells me that it's been on every single day since this incident happened.
Yeah, that's when we read an article last night that said that he had to take drastic measures for his safety, and that's why he moved out, and that's why he skipped their funerals. Ain't it crazy about a chip? Like, why in the hell? Some Neuralink. What the hell, man? Doesn't that make you think of, like, the end times and shit, man? People getting a fucking chip implanted in their brain? Fucking nuts. SM, what's up? What's up? What's up? Ticket number 46. They let him go. They did. They handcuffed him, detained him while they searched the property, and then they uncuffed him and then brought him down for more questioning. So technically they did. I heard a pic about him handcuffed. We're watching the video from the dude. I haven't seen a picture. Who leaves their boys in a bad way? Something's up. I wouldn't be. I'm saying both of them. I'm not saying one. I'm saying you got fifth guy about right here and Jordan's about right there. That's my sus level. He was clueless. But who knows, man? Like I said, he could also been partaking, and he had a tolerance to it, and that's why maybe he was close to passing away too. You know, maybe the dude was close to passing away too, and he just had more of a tolerance. What's up, Aquarius? Ticket number 48. Number 5 kept quiet for a few days. Yeah, you did. Would you say something? Because you're like, shit, that'd probably be a position where you'd be like, yo, they ain't saying shit about me, so fuck. I don't know. Put yourself there. Would you take on all of that media backlash? Maybe not. Did go. Yep, that's what they said, Deb. They said he went down there for questioning. I like that evil CJ in red better.
Break in to our coverage, Alex, when you get that video of Jordan Willis being cuffed that night, if you would. I know that's a lot of logistics, but if you can, certainly let us know. We're on.
Yeah, that video didn't have him being cuffed. It just had a zoom in, zoom out. So I didn't see nothing being I didn't see any. How could you even see somebody being cuffed? The zoom wasn't even that good. You should have walked outside, walked to the end of your driveway or sidewalk or something, at least just for a few minutes. Look to see if there's anything breaking. I'm not seeing anything. We're gonna go on to the next video, and I do have an article too that I want to read you guys. Maybe I'll get to the article here. Yeah, we'll get to the article. I don't see nothing breaking. All right, so this is an article from CN Times Online. And this is a new article that came out yesterday. I don't know if she really broke in, right? Maybe just going through the screen door, they claim it as breaking in. He refused to be identified for 3 days. What's up, Kelly? How you doing? Woke up and found friends. Oh, I hope you feel better, Melissa. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we saw those charges. Whew. Bro. And then you got like light sentences too, right? I don't know. Frustration grows amid investigation into 3 men who died in Kansas City. Again, this was posted yesterday. Family members of 3 men whose bodies were found frozen in a friend's backyard in Kansas City are demanding answers. Jordan Willis, whose house the men were found outside, and he went to sleep after they left his home following a Chiefs football game, Astrid Martinez reports. Let me see here. We just read that. What the hell? I can't read the rest of it. What the hell is that? Why would they even post this then? What do you got to do? Add some kind of freaking subscription or something? Next. All right, give me a second. We'll just switch to this. Yeah, here's that video about the
We've been waiting all morning for this story. Imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist. That is what Elon Musk says is the goal for his Neuralink company. Musk announcing Neuralink conducted its first human brain implant with promising results. That is a major step in the company's quest to help patients with paralysis and a long list of other neurological conditions.
That's
Emily
dangerous.
Finn joins us with more. Emily, this sounds like something, I don't know, straight out of a sci-fi movie. What's this designed to do and who said yes?
Well, this is pretty cool, Marky. Elon Musk, he describes his vision for Neuralink as a brain-computer interface with the goal of giving people who have lost the use of their limbs the ability to interact with their surroundings. The first Neuralink tech is to be tested on humans is called telepathy, and which, according to Musk, aims to allow people to control their phone or their computer with only their thoughts. Musk broke the news on X, formerly known as Twitter, saying the person who received the implant is recovering well and showing promising neuron spike detection. Neurons are the cells that send messages all over your body to let you do everything from eating to walking to sleeping. And when they spike, that means they're showing activity. According to Neuralink's website, the majority of the implanting operation is conducted by a robot. The actual brain implant is about the size of a quarter, but it's connected to 64 threads lined with 1,000 electrodes along the patient's brain and relay electrical signals. Neuralink claims the goal is for people to, quote, operate a computer or smartphone by simply intending to move. No wires or physical movement are required.
What the fuck? You don't even have to, you just think it. Yo. That shit's, oh my lord, that's not natural. That's not natural. What the fuck are you doing, man? So then whoever has the fucking chip, do you think that they can't? Can you imagine? You gotta buy fucking antivirus, fucking preventable hackware fucking shit for your brain implant. So some fucking hacker somewhere can't hack into your fucking brain fucking chip and make you do what they want you to fucking do? Yeah, or is this how aliens became aliens with the telepathy and all this other shit? You know what I'm saying? People have a brain in their chip, or a chip in their brain. Shit, 200 years from now, do you think the body, like, that's... Like, we didn't need a fucking tail a long ass time ago. Do we got tails? No. Did we before? Probably. Why do you have a tailbone? You know? I mean, probably had tails. Did we need them? No. So our bodies are eventually going to fuck it. This is nuts. Phidippus. Damn, this is too bad though. The chip will be your brain, right? You gotta upgrade your processor every 2 years and shit. Man, that's dangerous. And then what if something goes wrong with it? Oh, dude. Like, yeah, like what if something goes wrong with your brain chip, you know, and you're looking like this lady? No compute, no compute.
Musk says the first people who will have access to the device will be those who have lost the use of their limbs. Now, Neuralink is still in clinical trials, so it will be a while before this tech hits the market, Marky.
Wow.
The future is here. An unbelievable advancement and update. Emily Finn, thanks so much.
Why? Okay. I just wanted to share that with you. I was like, what the hell is this? Let me see. This was overnight. This was overnight. There was 5 people arrested in that Mojave Desert, the San Bernardino.
We are confident we have arrested all the suspects in this case. They are currently in custody with no...
What is this, like a cartel thing, you guys? Have you guys watched this too? This has been breaking news the last few days as well. 5 people found burned and shot, I think. They just arrested...
No bail. Pending a
6.
review of the case
6
from
people.
the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office. What I can confirm is on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, at approximately 2016 hours, dispatchers received a 911 call from a subject who spoke Spanish. The caller told dispatchers he was shot, but he did not know the location he was at, and it appeared the call ended. Dispatchers tracked the phone via latitude and longitude coordinates to a remote area in the unincorporated Adelanto area near Lessing Avenue. Once overhead the area, officers discovered a crime scene and what appeared to be multiple gunshot wound victims. One of the vehicles was apparently shot, had multiple gunshot strikes in it. The two vehicles were a Dodge Caravan and a Chevy Trailblazer. At approximately 2040 hours, deputies from the Victor Valley Station arrived on scene and located 4.
That's interesting. Yeah, because that guy did say there was normally no vehicles were parked. Well, he had just moved there, but he did say he never really saw vehicles parked there, and there was vehicles parked up and down the road too. That is true.
Deceased males with
makes you wonder,
burns.
Kelly.
A 5th deceased male was located in the Chevy Trailblazer, and a 6th deceased male a short distance away who sustained a gunshot wound. Our sheriff's homicide investigators assumed the investigation to process the scene and find those responsible for these heinous acts of violence. I can confirm all victims had apparent fatal gunshot injuries. Additionally, 4 of the 6 were burned at the location by the suspects. As far as the motives, we are confident that this appears to be a dispute over marijuana, which resulted in the murders. I want to remind everyone this is still an active investigation, and we will not be able to disclose all the facts of this case.
It's been nearly 3 weeks since 3 men found dead outside of a friend's house in Kansas City, days after going over there to watch the Chiefs game.
All right, hold on one second. We'll go back to that so you guys can hear what he said, and then we'll go to those videos. I believe it's right here.
Well, you remember I told you about Ashton Brady. He was the neighbor who lives right across from Jordan Willis, who just by happenstance looked out at the exact moment that 911 was being called. Ashton, we know now that was Clayton's fiance that actually discovered those bodies, called 911 and alerted the authorities. Just walk me through what you saw in that moment.
So basically, I was just going, turn off all my lights. I was getting ready for bed, locking the doors. I went to lock my front door, and I saw a woman come out of the back.
What's up, Sea-Dog? What's up with there's nothing suspicious about the green car? What's suspicious about it? Because there's already people digging into the car a few weeks ago. Or maybe, hell, when was it, everybody? Was it like a month ago? Maybe it was a little more than that. But yeah, there's nothing suspicious about the green car. Not trying to. Well, oh, from the previous. Yeah, from the previous, Kelly. From the previous. What's up, Wendy? Thank you for subbing. Appreciate that. Yeah, we know. It used to be white, Sea-Dog. It used to be a white vehicle. Yeah, I mean, go ahead and let me know if you do me a favor. If you find something else out, please, you're more than welcome to send it to me. We already looked into it, though. I don't know, maybe a month ago or something. I mean, hey, that's what the footage is there for. You know what I'm saying? But I just you can look anytime the footage is promoted, and even when I talk about the footage, I never said it was during the crime. So I don't know why people. I mean, hell, even GAC was sitting there digging into it like it was video from when the crime took place, and it's like, no. Does everybody blame Gray Hughes for having footage during the crime? No. Like, why do people think that my footage was from like the day of the crime or something? Seriously, I don't understand it. I tell everybody, I'm like, yo, I was there a year to the date after the crime. Yeah, I was there from 11/8 to 11/15, 2023. Yeah, go ahead. Let me know, Sea-Dog. Like I said, send it to me but I looked into it. A female owns it. We looked into it. I even called the Moscow police department because there was so much shit going around on social media about it. I even called the Moscow Police Department and asked them to swing by there when they're driving by on their routes, just to go up there just to make sure everything's kosher. That lady didn't do anything wrong, so I don't know. I don't understand it. But I definitely called him. I'm like, look, there's a lot of BS on YouTube about this car, so you know, I even, if you guys want me to play it, I can play it. I fucking called him, told him, and I was like, yo, I know how dark it is back there. I know how dangerous it is back there, and to be making somebody out to be something that had nothing to do with it is not, you know. I mean, Sea Dog, you want to see how dark it is? This is how dark it is back there. And when I'm back there, it's dark as shit. You know what I'm saying? It's dark as shit. It's secluded. So the last thing I want to do is for there to be another Jeremy out there where somebody gets harassed for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So if there is anything different, let me know. But from what I looked up, and then I even made a video about it, how it's not suspicious. So let me know, though. Appreciate you. Just be careful, man. These people have real lives too.
Backyard on her phone, and she looked distressed because she kept looking back towards the house, and I thought it was weird. But I just moved in, so I
thank
really
you for
didn't
your
know
interest,
much,
too.
and so I just went back to my room. 10 minutes later,
And again, that's what the footage is there for. It's the footage is there for people to review it, to see it, to sleuth it. You ain't got to go watch some Vaseline screen, Gray Hughes shit with the dash. You can go right to my shit. You got the routes from the PCA. You got the route that the person would have took if they committed the crime, you know, if they were trying to avoid. You got different footage. You go to my real footage 1 year after the crime video from a few weeks ago. That's a whole bunch of different footage on top of other footage. It's definitely check it out sometime. And I can't wait. I should be getting my drone here in a couple days, and we are going to be adding drone footage to the footage for our community too. I can't wait to show that off.
I saw an ambulance drive by, and I was like, well, that's just weird. Something's going on.
Drone footage, baby.
Front room. Looked at.
Yeah, Mary, because you know what? If there is a tunnel, Mary, guess what? That drone's going in that tunnel. Yeah. Oh, on Court TV. The Court TV. I'm telling you. Oh, I would have been so prepared. One day, if I ever do. I doubt it. I say the fuck word too much. They'd be like, oh, CJ, no. Then I don't go with their narrative.
Out, and I saw that there was already 3 cop cars, and there was a man detained, and the woman.
I would love to talk I would love to talk the facts at Idaho4 with Vinny. I really would. And then I would introduce him the DNA Dirty Glove video, and I'm like, why don't you guys review this freaking video? Y'all talk about all these other freaking videos on mainstream. Play that video. I mean, come on. Nobody's talking about it. I don't get it. I was
talking to the other police.
I don't get it.
Basically, I kind of watched that conspire for an hour or two. The man eventually left. The police searched the house.
Yeah, bro, that dude's all over the place. That's like I said before, if I got a team of starters with me, I don't need a Scottie Pippen going to the fucking bench and quitting on the team because he's all up in his shit, you know? You don't think anybody else goes through shit too? Shit. There's a reason why there's starters, and there's a reason why there's bench players, and there's a reason why people just quit. I'm sorry. I want to know that my man next to me is going to be with me no matter what.
Went through the backyards and everything, and I had no idea what had happened. And the next morning I saw...
What if you were a soldier? What if... Think about this, though, right, AG? What if you were a fucking soldier and that dude... Because think about it, we're all soldiers in our own way. But if you look at it in a military sense, and that dude quits on your ass and then comes back the next day, no, dude. Just go home. Just go home.
Saw the news that they had found
Just
3
go
dead
home.
bodies, and I just was kind of in disbelief. I was like, wow, I watched that happen.
Right, and
His
actually
boxers.
we're looking at that video that you shot right there on the top left corner.
Yeah, his boxers, a wine glass, and ear pods. Yeah.
Of your screen. So basically you're saying that's the video where you're actually looking out and you can see Jordan
I
Willis
don't know.
being detained.
That's probably within the first 5 to 10 minutes. I
don't know, AG. He's complaining about shit, and he's got more than what I got. And do you ever hear me complain? It's be thankful for what you have. The true character always shows, no matter how much fake you get. The true character always shows. I appreciate everything I have. You'll never, ever hear me fucking complain that I ain't got enough. Fuck. I'm happy for everything that I get. Period.
I was like, oh my goodness, something.
I don't sit there and
serious
bitch
is
and
going on.
complain.
So yeah.
So your red flags were going off in that moment, but even before that, right? Because you saw some of these
Get outta
victims'
here.
cars that were right here parked in front of your house, and that also kind of alerted you, right? Because that was unusual.
Yeah, we had just moved in, but
See?
that week we had never seen those cars there, and then all of a sudden that whole weekend there was
The whole weekend.
cars parked right in.
So it's right here, a minute 38 on this link. So this is where he discusses. So when it comes to what you're saying, Kelly and AG, maybe there was a hell of a lot more people there. Maybe there was. But here it is. Here's the link for that. It's the 138.
Yeah, we had just moved in, but that week we had never seen those cars there, and then all of a sudden that whole weekend there was cars parked right in front of our drive, and they never left. And they stayed there until the police came, and even after that we found out they're deceased. But yes, those cars never left.
And obviously that was something that raised your...
Damn, so those cars never left. They were parked up there the whole weekend.
Because that was unusual.
Yeah, we had just moved in, but that week we had never seen those cars there, and then all of a sudden that whole weekend there was...
Bro, the zooming in and the zooming out, it drives me nuts as somebody that is into photography and film. It just drives me nuts.
Cars parked right in front
Quit
of our drive.
zooming, man.
They never left. And they stayed there until the police came, and even after that we found out they're deceased. But yes, those cars never left.
And obviously that was something that raised your suspicions at all.
Make
Tell
you
me, I know
sick.
you hadn't
Look
lived
at that
here for
shit,
very
man.
long, right? But tell me at all about Jordan Willis, what you know about him. I mean, did you ever see him out and about? Was he friendly? Did he come by and talk to you ever?
Honestly, I've never
Never
seen
met him.
out. I never saw him or talked to him, so I cannot speak.
So they only lived there for a week, it sounds like. Well, he only lived there for a week, which makes sense because it was January 7th when the game was going down, 7 days after the new month. So they probably moved in January 1st. Didn't notice much cars until the whole weekend. So were they having an NFL weekend party, not necessarily just for the Chiefs game, or was the host? Because if you're a neighbor, you're not going to be like, yeah, that red truck, the blue Subaru, the gray Toyota, and the blue Ford, you're not. I don't think you're gonna, but you're gonna remember a few cars that are being in the same spot. Oh yeah, that car's been there for a couple days, but you might not remember what car 3 spots ahead was because your brain's not keeping that info most of the time. So it makes me wonder. Well, think about this though, Kelly and AG. It makes me wonder, did the dude have a party For the whole weekend, I wasn't like singling out a vehicle. I was just using examples. Shit, now I forgot what I was. Yeah. So who's to say that the dude didn't have like a weekend party, and the 3 dudes that showed up, they went to a football game on Saturday? So then why were their vehicles parked there the whole weekend and not just Sunday for the football game? You know? I don't know if he did. I'm saying, if I'm looking at what this dude, listen to what he says. It's not just Sunday night. It's the whole weekend. So if he's saying that the cars were parked there the whole weekend, not necessarily victims, that's why I brought up all those different vehicles as examples, because I'm trying to say this dude right here that's talking isn't going to remember the blue Ford and the red Toyota and all this other stuff. He's just going to remember that vehicles were parked all over. So if he says the whole weekend and not just Sunday, because remember he went hunting on Sunday. So if he went hunting on Sunday, right? If he went hunting on Sunday and nobody showed up until the football game, well then why would he say that the cars were parked out all weekend, or a bunch of cars were parked out all weekend, and not say when I came back from hunting, I saw there was a bunch of cars? To me, that tells me that he entertained other people that weren't the victims. Do you see what I'm saying, AG? Do you see where this is where I'm trying to go. Not about those specific 5. Get that out of the head. I'm talking other people. Why would the dude say the cars were parked there all weekend if he went hunting on Sunday and came back Sunday? Because if there was no cars until the 5 showed up, well, then you're telling the reporter, hey, when I got back from hunting, I saw a bunch of cars. So I'm wondering, did this dude, because let's think about it, he's buying tickets for his friends. You saw his salary, over $600. And that's just minimal right now. We don't know what, it could be more. We don't know what else he's got in his bag. But we do know that he's spending money left and right. Left and right. Football, football, football. So, who's to say this dude wasn't having a humongous fucking... Because, it was the NFL playoffs. Hey, buddies that root for the Ravens and, the Packers, come on over. Hey, buddies that root for here and here. Yeah, I'm having a weekend bash. Come on over. Oh, who said he had a lab in his house? Jesus. That's kind of stretching it. He used computer programs. To design the programs to then do the work to figure out how to locate the certain abnormalities in the cells. No, he's not making anything at his house. He uses his computer. Here, let me share this with you guys. He went into, this is an interview from one of these tech companies that interviewed him, and they go into what he does, and it'll tell you it's all computer programs. It's based off of software, in programs. Let me see here. Where is that? Yeah, right here. Meet the IAVI scientists applying new and emerging technologies is one of the toughest challenges facing HIV vaccine researchers today. And this is Jordan Willis. So here's this article here real quick, and we'll get into that part. So this is what he technically does. Let me see here. So they're looking for rare cadets that have properties to grow into super soldiers, and finding and targeting those is the problem, because they're trying to find very infrequent things in those traits. Let me see here. Because of the rapid. Now, he does work for a lab, but he works from home with software. I'm trying to find right here. It says, I slowly developed the skills of how computational biology works. I slowly developed the skills, and I now work 100% at my desk using computers for analysis and designing experiments. So he does nothing. He does nothing. Well, I mean, you don't have to have a lab to make a pill. You just need the ingredients. And being a scientist, you would probably have access to those, because you could, yeah, I got this lab at home. Maybe you don't. But you can just put the thing in there and go. You don't need a lab. Bam, it's made. You don't need a lab for that. You just put it in there and go. Boom, it's done. But this right here, computers for analysis and designing and experiments. Sorry, I couldn't say it exactly. So here we go. So again, this is what he was saying, what I was talking about here. I'm thinking he's not saying I saw a bunch of cars when I came home hunting. He's saying I'm wondering if the dude had an NFL weekend bash.
So your red flags were going off in that moment, but even before that, right? Because you saw some of these victims' cars that were right here parked in front of your house, and that also kind of alerted you, right? Because that was unusual.
Yeah, we had just moved in, but that week we had never seen those cars there. And then all of a sudden, that whole weekend, there was cars parked right in front of our drive, and they never left. Not
right in front of their drive. Wow. You can really fit that many cars on this road? Can you imagine? So is there any cars parked on this road? Okay, so let me see here. So it looks like the right side maybe is the only... No, you can park on the left too. My gosh, how are you supposed to drive down this road if there's cars parked on both sides? And there is. Look, you got a truck parked on that side. You got a car parked over here, so you can park on both sides. So... all right, so that's not it. I must have went too far, maybe. Or not far enough. Oops, I got lost. 5208. Right back here. It's not... now it's going back down. What the hell? So, man, the car's parked in front of his driveway. So that would be right here and right there. Why wouldn't they just park right here? That's a huge ass parking lot. I mean, and a driveway too. You could fit freaking 3 cars in the driveway, a couple more up there.
And they stayed there, and all of a sudden that whole weekend there was cars parked right in front of our drive, and they never left. And they stayed there until the police came.
Here, if anybody's curious, we went through this a couple shows ago, but it's a very interesting read. So there's the link for this article right here. Definitely check it out. Explains a lot about what he does, his background, and even his love for puppies at the end.
And even after that, we found out they're deceased. But yes, those cars never left.
And obviously that was something that raised your suspicions at all. Tell me, I know you hadn't lived here for very long, right? But tell me at all about Jordan Willis, what you know about him. I mean, did you ever see him out and about? Was he friendly? Did he come by and talk to you ever?
Honestly, I've never seen him out. I never saw him or talked to him, so I cannot speak for that. Honestly, I do not know.
How about the fact that just something that is so strange, this case in general is bizarre and we don't have many answers, but the fact of the matter is 3 men were outside for 2 days on this backyard, one sitting up in a chair, 2 laying down on their backs, frozen to death. I mean, how do you wrap your mind around all that information?
What? 2 laying on their backs? What?
Their backs frozen to death. I mean, 3 men were outside for 2 days on this backyard, one sitting up in a chair, 2 laying down on their back.
One sitting in a chair, 2 laying down on their back. What's up, Anna? Thank you for hopping in, and congratulations to you. So now you're saying 3 were outside. So was the person... This is not... See, this is not making sense. Then why would the lady supposedly need to break in? Why would the lady supposedly need to break in if the dudes were outside? What? It's just... There's too many different...
How do you wrap your mind around all that information?
It's a lot, honestly.
Okay, so that truck was parked in front of his driveway, and there's another car off to the left. So right there to the left, and then there's a truck in front of the driveway. So there's a truck that's parked right here by that tree, and then a car is parked right here. And he says it was full the whole weekend.
It's a lot, honestly.
I bet you he had a NFL weekend bash, just drugging it up like crazy.
I imagine it has something to do with a bad drug or something, but it's strange that how long it occurred for people for something to notice like that. If it happened on a Sunday, that's a long time, and I feel like something should have been said, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's hard to say out loud because you don't have all the information, but the fact of the matter is 3 men are now dead. Does it feel like you're getting, or your community is getting, the answers it deserves right now? That seems to be the big issue that the families have, is it just doesn't feel like they're getting closure because they're not getting answers.
Yeah, I feel for the families and that they just want to know what really happened. And I feel like if we need to know, we need to know. I'm sure answers are going to come out, but
you should.
I know a lot of people are wondering what happened around here. That's for sure.
What is the talk of the town? How are people talking about it still? Because no doubt about it, the whole world is looking at this case and talking about it. So how do you and your friends talk about it, process it, work through this whole story?
We just kind of sit down and talk about it. Sometimes we're just randomly, we'll be talking about like what could have really happened. Like how do your 3 buddies, just you not notice them for 2 days outside in the backyard? So it's really strange for me and all of our friends. It's really hard for me to say, but I feel like it had to have been just maybe an accident. I don't know. It needs more investigation, though, I think.
Ashton, hang tight. I think.
Yeah. And then here's some more interviews from other neighbors again.
To say that he didn't see his friends out, but he has a sliding glass door going right into his backyard, and it's in his kitchen. So you have to see it. I don't know. I just feel like there's no way you didn't see your friends dead outside.
So even if he didn't contribute to their deaths, it's a little weird. He may not be telling the whole truth.
Right. I mean, people were calling him, people were knocking on the door, and he wasn't answering to anybody. So I just feel like that's odd that you wouldn't say anything.
I think it's just a matter of time. You know, I trust a lot of the people who are like involved in investigating the case, and you know, I'm just waiting for any answers as a community member. I think that's what we're all waiting for.
And we do know now that Jordan Willis no longer lives here.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they consider her going over I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. But I thought she had to break in a window, remember? Or did... That's what we heard too. And now it's like, wait a minute. One was in a chair. Two were outside. What? There's just so many different... And it's... Unfortunately, it's going to be like that for a while. What's up, Jen? Thank you for hopping in. She say they out back. She didn't break in. Isn't it crazy, AG? Why is there so many different fucking stories? Even with the person that came to the house to check on them. There's different stories with that too. Why? Oh, Jen, thank you so much. Give me 1 second. Contribution call out. Thank you so much, Jen, for becoming a member. And there's plenty of members only stuff there for you to scroll through. We're going to be going into, we do a OJ25 members only every Sunday, late morning, early afternoon. And we're going to be having some other member stuff, but check out any members, or just, you know, since you became one, go check out the last OJ25 members only episode and watch the intro, and you'll see what I'm discussing about doing for another members only, just a very small, very couple episode multi-part for members only. So check that out and let me know if you'd be interested in that. That's just for the members. All right, give me 1 second. Let's see if there's anything breaking. And oh, you know what? There is another new video. There's a couple, because we didn't get to one. We didn't get to either of these last night, especially the brother talked again as well on News Nation.
3 weeks since 3 men found dead outside of a friend's house in Kansas City. Days after going over there to watch the Chiefs game, the controversy just keeps growing.
Yeah, it's...
With family members of the 3 guys.
Keeps changing.
Furious,
why?
As everyone awaits the toxicology reports. The living friend, Jordan Willis, whose home they'd gone to, never contacted police, didn't really contact anyone. Says he didn't know 3 friends were dead, frozen in the backyard for 2 days. Yet the authorities say there were no signs of foul play. Now it turns out there was a 5th friend there that night. That guy identified as Alex Weimer, who was a childhood friend of the 3 men. Says he got to the home at about 7 p.m., left around midnight, when he claims the 4 men were still awake watching an episode of Jeopardy! Now, that contradicted statements made by Jordan Willis's attorney, who said last week he, meaning Willis, was asleep. He was asleep on the couch. The last memory he has is of leaving the front door. He doesn't know what happened with them until, you know, when the police came Tuesday night to his house. Now he's changed his statement, now claiming his client went to sleep while the friends continued to hang out.
When he would have people over his house sometimes, as people do, they get tired. They're people who are very close to you. And then you feel comfortable going to bed and allowing them to leave whenever they want to leave.
Now, the families of the 3 men, 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, 37-year-old David Harrington, and 36-year-old Clayton McGinney, are furious that this new revelation has led to no updates in the case.
Last time we saw them, they were leaving the house, but he didn't know that they had left, so that doesn't make much sense.
I think a lot of people know more than they're saying.
You can't tell me he didn't know those slides were back there in the backyard.
How do you not know there's 3 dead bodies in the back porch?
Meanwhile, Willis's family is standing with him. His father defending his son in a statement. He would never in a million years do anything. These were all good friends of his. These were all people he went to school with. He took the day before.
Yeah,
Now,
Jeopardy.
We are still awaiting the toxicology.
What's up, 49er girl?
Which could shed a lot of light on exactly what happened. Joining us now is Joseph Scott Morgan, who is one of the leading experts on the coroner system in the United States. He's been following this story closely. Thanks a lot for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so what...
Oh, we did watch this last night. It's the one after we didn't get to.
Exactly are we going to learn from this toxicology report?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dan. The reality is this. They're going to do what's referred to as a qualitative finding, which means they're going to identify whatever substances were in these gentlemen's systems collectively. And it's kind of referred to as a standard panel that we run at autopsy. We're looking for everything from opioids, cannabinoids, benzos, cocaine metabolite, all these other things. And of course, the big one out there that everybody's talking about, of course, is fentanyl. And those are all going to be
61. Thank you.
They'll be qualified, and then they'll do a quantitative result, and that's what's taking so long at this point in time. I think relative to the toxicological findings, they will. Every drug out there, even some that you might be surprised about, has a therapeutic level. That is, those drugs that we can take and we're not going to die from them or slip into a coma. They're looking for these levels to see if they reached levels of lethality,
64,
if in fact there is anything in their collective systems. Now, my big issue with this case, Dan, is that I don't think there were any lightning strikes that day. I don't think that there's any trauma. So we can't have people that just 3 adult males, relatively healthy from what we know, they just don't spontaneously fall over dead in this close proximity to one another.
No.
So I have to think that there's some kind of agent at work here in their system.
Right.
My big thing here is how carefully did they examine the scene? I hope that any kind of drinking containers, vessels, anything that were outside with those remains, that they were collected, that they are being analyzed. It's not just the bodies alone. And anything within that house, I don't know if the cops have served a search warrant on this residence to collect anything that may have been in there, because look, we have to come to an agreement that this is.
That's a good question, because they asked him if they could look through the property, and he agreed. That's not a search warrant. That's not a search warrant. Did they issue a search warrant? I don't know. I need to write that down. I don't think they did. Did they issue a search warrant? I don't think they did.
Anything that may have been in there, because look, we have to come to an agreement that this is not normal, that this is abnormal. It's an outlier.
Right. And there's also no way this could be alcohol. All right. There's no way 3 guys all die of alcohol poisoning and all freeze in the same area out. There's just no way. Right?
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Unless you're talking about something like bathtub gin, all right? We know that that's not the case, where it would be so toxic that it would take them to their knees. So the answer lies elsewhere, and that's what's so important.
Right, because even if you're drinking Everclear, like straight Everclear, not all 3. Somebody is going to be able, not all 3. That's why we've been saying, that's why you even hear these experts saying there's some kind of agent involved. This just don't happen.
Important here. And one other thing to go along with relative to the gentleman that slept for 48 hours, did he ingest something and may not have known about it, because he's lost 2 days here, we're talking about, if not more than that. So that's going to be key as well. I doubt that they drew blood on that guy, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're still going to have to wait a couple weeks, apparently, before the results come in. They said something like 8 weeks. Joseph Scott Morgan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Now it's going to be
Thank you
longer.
for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider.
I need to make one of these. Thank you, for the end of the show. Thank you for watching. Damn, I need to do something like that. I think that'd be sweet. Hold on. I might try to cook something up in between the show today and tonight. I might try and cook something up. Thank you for joining the show. Like all these News Nation people. Thank you for joining the show.
And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Yeah. That's what I need to do.
You can't leave what happened in Kansas City alone. You can't have these families with these young guys had their whole lives in
Their cell phones and their keys and their coats were inside. Their cell phone, their keys, and their coats. They froze with no coats. One guy was sitting in a chair. And the other guy was sitting, one guy was sitting in the chair. The other two were on the ground. Now, we first heard that one of them was in this room right here, this porch area. But now we heard last night it broke that one of them was in a chair and then two of them were on the ground. They were burning. It's the sprinkle booster. Sprinkle booster. I need a Facebook group. I do have one. I just don't ever use it. Or I might even just closed it down because not very many people had a Facebook. So, or had a, because I don't want people to join with their real one. I'd rather them join with like a YouTube one or something. That way nobody shits out there. By the way, you should be seeing, hold on one second. You should be seeing a new link for, if you have Discord, you can join the Evil CJ. I had to make, because the Discord that I had wasn't necessarily, I wasn't necessarily the owner of it because I didn't understand really how to do any of it, but we got a new Discord and it's we're gonna be rolling with that. So let me drop that link for you guys. If you are on Discord, thanks for reminding me. If you are on Discord and you want to join our everyone chat group, here is, and it's for outside of the show, so that way if there's an update or any conversation after the show's over, and I even drop my show links in there, so if you don't get a notification, you'll already have oh, hold on one second. One second here. Make sure. Oops, one second. That was the wrong one. Nobody will have access to that one. Sorry. Here's the link. Right here. It looks like Cassie got in there. Let's see. One second. Here's the link. Sorry about that. There we go. Put the wrong one in there. So that's the actual link. I apologize about that. Not this one. this one right here, the W4. And then when you hop in, just go ahead and say what's up. All right, there we go. Yeah, say what's up. Say hello. You will get, and you know, like I said, I'll put out notifications, but I also drop it in there too, in any kind of updates. So if I'm not on, or I'm not going to be on, or something changes, it's just a good way to stay updated. So there's that. Let me make sure. Thanks for reminding me. I totally forgot to have it out last night, and it didn't. Put it out last night. Thank you for reminding me. All right. Let's see here now. Back to this.
In front of them. And there's just no answer.
This is the one we didn't get into last night. This is from the other brother. I'm not seeing anything else breaking news coming out for the Kansas City 3. So we're going to go ahead and switch to the Idaho 4 topic.
And the authorities aren't saying anything. I respect the authorities doing things the right way. But according to one of the guys involved here, his attorney.
And by the way, it's the best way to send me information for the show beyond email, Twitter, and Instagram, because I do get a notification in my ear from Discord. It's the only one. So if you do send something to me, I already hear it in my ear that there's a notification, and you don't have to tell me, hey, I sent it on email, whatever.
Attorney, they don't expect foul play. Then why don't you give the family some answers? So these 3 men in Kansas City, you know the story. They were found frozen to death in their buddy's backyard in a way that we haven't heard before, by the way, which you're going to hear in a moment. But no gunshot, no stab wound, no ligature, meaning nobody had strangled them, apparently. Okay? So they send it out for an autopsy and toxicology. They say 8 weeks. 8 weeks. You can't bury, you can't
longer.
mourn, you can't know. The families want answers. So we keep doing the story. And not to hype about it, because we can only know what is shown. All right? The family knows what these guys were about and what they were doing and who this friend was to them. Let's bring in the brother of Ricky Johnson, one of the deceased. We had his father on last week. Jonathan Price is his name, and he joins us now. Jonathan, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Chris.
So how's the family holding up with the unknown?
It's the same every day, with, you know, the lack of answers.
Here, we'll do this.
The inability to really truly mourn without any form of cause. It's just very difficult. I don't think I'll ever move on until, I mean, really, I'll never move on, but especially not knowing what happened to my brother. And I'm not one of these people that tries to speculate and stuff like that, but I want ideas out there. I want to be involved more. You know, my mother, Ricky's father, they want to be involved more, and we're just not getting answers from anybody, even the people that claim they're doing the investigation.
So is it true that you guys have been trying to get the police to tell you what's happening and that they are not in communication with you?
That's correct.
Is there any reason, is there some protocol in Kansas City I'm not aware of where they're not allowed to interface with the families of victims of crimes? Because usually that's like the main interface.
Yes, and you would think so, you know, especially with something like this. And I'm not saying there was or was not a crime, but if you immediately suspect no foul play, then you should have a story. You should have something to tell the families.
Right.
And for no one to hear anything, that, you know, that doesn't make any sense. And I think that's one of the main reasons why this is getting so big.
So 2 things that you've said that I haven't heard before. One, you seem to know something about where these men were found. that I haven't heard? What information do you have about specifically where they were in the backyard and how they were situated?
Well, I don't have firsthand knowledge, but I have heard because as being a brother, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at everything anybody posts, whether it's, you know, information I feel is useful or information I don't feel is useful. But information I did
Well,
find
you also know who found them,
was
right? I mean, they were found
Yeah.
by an extended family member. So you guys are in contact. So go ahead, tell the audience.
Yeah, so I believe David was found in a lawn chair on the back porch rather than all three laying flat, which definitely paints a picture we did not have from the very beginning. And, you know, it definitely brings up some questions that you would have, you know, especially with somebody that, I don't care who you are, where you live, if it's snowing outside, you're looking at how bad it's getting, especially if you have any type of responsibilities of leaving your house in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter if you work from home, you got to leave sometime. And from his lawyer, we don't know if he left or not, because he started out saying that he left the home sporadically throughout the day. And then another one where he was home for 50 hours with no leaving the house
And they had
or looking out
cars.
a window.
And there were
Yes.
cars outside in front. And you have a feeling
What's up,
that
Crystal?
an intoxicant
What's up,
was
Steve?
involved, and you know your brother, and this is not a judgment thing. I don't care how he liked to spend his free time. It's not what this is about. You believe that the answer here lies in
What?
something that your brother didn't know.
Why you got to wait 10 minutes to say what's up? Everybody's saying what's up. What do you mean? Everybody's saying what's up. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm not one of those that has like a Discord for, you know, I'm not one that has like a Discord with your favorite recipes and your favorite recipes and all that shit. There's plenty of other Discords that you could talk about your favorite recipes. Let's just talk about fun and work. You know what I mean? Because man, that shit gets crazy. It really does. All them different Discords. That's why I just have my own. I usually stick to my own, and I'm so damn busy as it is when it comes to my work here and the prep and everything. Shit, if I sat there and I was into all these different Facebook or Discord chat groups, I wouldn't get no work done. That's what happened when I first made one. I was like, oh shit, like I can't even get to any work. Let's just there's so many other channels out there that you can talk about it, so we just keep it simple over here. What's up, Caddy? Ticket number 13. Thank you. He said there's cars up and down as well. He's wondering. I don't know. Do you guys... The LE being involved, I don't know about that. I mean, to say that they're not fun ballooning it. JD, is that the... oh, yeah, there was videos. I was going to play for that, too. We did play one of them last night, Kelly. Thank you. It was about the OD. So you might have not been in the show last night when we got to that one. But yeah, we got through that one. That it kind of goes through, like, I think it had like the signs and everything too. You'll show me in a minute.
Last week. Jonathan Price is his name, and he joins us now. Jonathan, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Chris.
So how's the family holding up with the unknown?
It's the same every day, with, you know, the lack of answers, you know, the inability to really truly mourn without any form of cause. It's just very difficult. I don't think I'll ever move on until I mean, really, I'll never move on, but especially not knowing what happened to my brother. And I'm not one of these people that tries to speculate and stuff like that, but I want ideas out there. I want to be involved more. My mother, Ricky's father, they want to be involved more, and we're just not getting answers from anybody, even the people that claim they're doing the investigation.
So is it true that you guys have been trying to get the police to tell you what's happening and that they...
Is that a real helmet? I wonder why they chose that picture. Huh.
They are not in communication with you?
That's correct.
Is there any reason, is there some protocol in Kansas City I'm not aware of where they're not allowed to interface with the families of victims of crimes? Because usually that's like the main interface.
Yes, and you would think so, especially with something like this. And I'm not saying there was or was not a crime, but...
So they're not... Oh, wait a minute, what? They're not allowing to...
Been trying to get the police to tell you what's happening and that they are not in communication with you.
Okay, so
that's correct.
It's the police.
Correct.
Is there any reason, is there some protocol in Kansas City I'm not aware of where they're not allowed to interface with the families of victims of crimes? Because usually that's like...
What's up, collateral damage? 70 in Oklahoma,
yes,
dang.
and you would think so, especially with something like this. And I'm not saying there was or was not a crime, but if you immediately suspect no foul play, then you should have a story.
Yeah,
you should have something to tell the families. And for no one to hear anything, that doesn't make any sense. And I think that's one of the main reasons why this is getting so big.
So, two things that you've said that I haven't heard before. One, you seem to know something about where these men were found that I haven't heard. What information do you have about specifically where they were in the backyard and how they were situated?
Well, I don't have firsthand knowledge, but I have heard, because as being a brother, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at everything anybody posts, whether it's information I feel is useful or information I don't feel is useful. But information I did find.
Well, you also know who found them,
was
right? I mean, they were found by an extended family member. So you guys are in contact. So go ahead, tell the audience.
Yeah. So
Steve,
I believe David was found in a lawn chair on the back porch, rather than all three laying flat, which definitely paints a picture we did not have.
Okay, what now? He said he was found on a chair in the okay, what the fuck? What the fuck is the truth here, man?
In a lawn chair on the back porch.
In the lawn chair on the back porch now. What the fuck? The game of fucking telephone, man. You can't. The game of fucking telephone. The families are talking to each other and their stories are getting twisted, man. Now the dude was in a lawn chair in the porch.
In a lawn chair on the back porch. Rather than all three laying flat, which definitely paints a picture we did not have from the very beginning. And
why wouldn't anybody? Yo, that would be one of the first things you're told is, yo, one of them was in a fucking chair. That's more shocking than them laying on the damn ground, is one of them was in a freaking chair. That's more shocking. That's going to be said first. Yeah, guess what? One of them was in a chair. That's a highlight. What the hell? Why are these stories so different?
It definitely brings up some questions that you would have, especially with somebody that, I don't care who you are, where you live. If it's snowing outside, you're looking at how bad it's getting, especially if you have any type of responsibilities of leaving your house in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter if you work from home, you got to leave sometime. And from his lawyer, we don't know if he left or not, because he started out saying that he left the home sporadically throughout the day. And then another one where he was home for 50 hours with no leaving the house
and they had
or looking
cars.
out a window.
And
what's up,
and there
Randy?
were cars outside in front. And you have a feeling that an intoxicant was involved, and you know your brother, and this is not a judgment thing. I don't care how he liked to spend his free time. It's not what this is about. You believe that the answer here lies in something that your brother didn't know he was taking.
Yes, absolutely. I don't even speculate on what my brother has or has not done in the past, because that wouldn't be firsthand knowledge of mine either. I just know that my brother was a good man. He loved his daughters to death. He absolutely had future plans to be a father to them for the rest of their lives, and he would not jeopardize that. So it just doesn't make any sense.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to News Nation.
Yikes. All right, we will look. Let me see here. I will play. Let's see, 1 second. So these are real short videos. These are from Kelly. Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, we played the OD one last night, but I'm going to play both of them here right now. And then we'll get into the Idaho4.
Affects brain functions in several ways. Alcohol, or more specifically ethanol, affects brain functions in several ways. Alcohol is generally known as a depressant of the central nervous system. It inhibits brain activities, causing a range of physiological effects such as impaired body movements and slurred speech. The pleasurable feeling associated with drinking, on the other hand, is linked to alcohol-induced dopamine release in the brain's reward pathway. Alcohol also increases levels of brain serotonin, a neurotransmitter implicated in mood regulation. The brain is a complex network of billions of neurons. Neurons can be excitatory or inhibitory. Excitatory neurons stimulate others to respond and transmit electrical messages, while inhibitory neurons suppress responsiveness, preventing excessive firing. Responsiveness or excitability of a neuron is determined by the value of electrical voltage across its membrane. Basically, a neuron is more responsive when it has more positive charges inside and is less responsive when it becomes more negative. A balance between excitation and inhibition is essential for normal brain functions. Short-term alcohol consumption disrupts this balance, increasing inhibitory and decreasing excitatory functions. Specifically, alcohol inhibits responsiveness of neurons via its interaction with the GABA system. GABA is a major inhibitory neurotransmitter. Upon binding, it triggers GABA receptors, ligand-gated chloride channels, to open and allow chloride ions to flow into the neuron, making it more negative and less likely to respond to new stimuli. Alcohol is known to potentiate GABA receptors, keeping the channels open for a longer time and thus exaggerating this inhibitory effect. GABA receptors are also the target of certain anesthetic drugs. This explains the sedative effect of alcohol. At the same time, alcohol also inhibits the glutamate system, a major excitatory circuit of the brain. Glutamate receptors, another type of ion channel, upon binding by glutamate, open to allow positively charged ions into the cell, making it more positive and more likely to generate electrical signals. Alcohol binding reduces channel permeability, lowering cation influx, thereby inhibiting neuron responsiveness. GABA activation and glutamate inhibition together bring down brain activities. Depending on the concentration of ethanol in the blood, alcohol's depressant effect can range from slight drowsiness to blackout or even respiratory failure and death. Chronic or long-term consumption of alcohol, however, produces an opposite effect on the brain. This is because sustained inhibition caused by prolonged alcohol exposure eventually activates the brain adaptation response. In attempts to restore the equilibrium, the brain decreases GABA inhibitory and increases glutamate excitatory functions to compensate for the alcohol's effect. As the balance tilts towards excitation, more and more alcohol is needed to achieve the same inhibitory effect. This leads to overdrinking and eventually addiction. If alcohol consumption is abruptly reduced or discontinued at this point, an ill feeling known as withdrawal syndrome may follow. This is because the brain is now hyperexcitable if not balanced by the inhibitory effect of alcohol. Alcohol withdrawal syndrome is characterized by tremors, seizures, hallucinations, agitation, and confusion. Excess calcium produced by overactive glutamate receptors during withdrawal is toxic and may cause brain damage.
Whoa.
Withdrawal-related anxiety also contributes to alcohol-seeking behavior and continued alcohol abuse. Thank you for watching.
Wow, that was interesting. GABA is good for anxiety. Huh. That's very interesting. I like how they put that. That's very interesting. I didn't. Right. The calcium. That's crazy.
Knowing the warning signs of an opioid overdose is the first step to saving a life. As we continue our campaign 11 minutes and counting, overdose facts and life-saving tips, we want to arm you with that information. Approximately every 11 minutes, someone dies in this country from an opioid overdose. Most overdoses happen accidentally and right here at home, which was the case for my parents, who both died from overdoses within hours of each other. That's why knowing the signs and symptoms to look out for is so important, so you can intervene in the case of an opioid overdose emergency. The signs include frequent vomiting, pinpoint pupils, extreme sleepiness or the inability to wake up, intermittent loss of consciousness, slowed or irregular breathing, weak pulse, or cold, clammy skin or bluish skin around the lips or under the fingernails. Now, one of the most important treatments for opioid overdose is Narcan. This medication has been used in emergency rooms for several years to reverse opioid overdoses. This week, American Addiction Center's facilities will be hosting free virtual Narcan training to show you exactly what to do. Make sure to click the link for the details. I will also be sharing my story on AAC's Facebook Live on August 31st at 7 o'clock Eastern Time as a reminder that we are losing too many precious lives to addiction. Please make sure to share this message on your social media with the hashtag #ReverseAnOverdose. You never know when you might need this information to save the life of a friend or a loved one.
So thank you for sharing those, Kelly. Appreciate that. All right, we're going to get into some Idaho4 discussion now. And tonight, in tonight's show, we're going to be talking mainly Idaho4, and then we're going to have any kind of updates that are coming out for the KC3 case. Tonight, we are going to be getting into the hidden true crime live Q&A that took place a month after the Idaho4 crime took place. So we'll be getting into that tonight. One of the videos that we're going to sit back and check out is, you guys remember John Kelly Profiler? Appreciate him. Even though sometimes I don't agree or understand where he's coming from or what he's thinking, you know, hey, I think he has some good theories, thoughts, and opinions. And he had an episode discussing, is this the perfect crime? And when it comes to the perfect crime, and you see the footage alone of when I drove the PCA and how there's so many cameras and how you drove up to the house and you left the house and all this other stuff. I'm sorry, it spells chaos. And so I don't know how it could be committed the perfect crime, but yet you bring your cell phone, you don't even take it back, you shut it off after you already leave, and then you're driving over the most well-lit areas in both cities at night with great cameras in the best well-lit areas instead of driving back roads and literally not even having to drive all over like you had to. As soon as you take that back airport road and then you hit 270, you're literally only on 270 for a couple blocks, and then you're turning right to go by the house. So I don't understand call it a perfect crime, or how did he commit the perfect crime? I don't see how. CDog88, I want to say thank you for your contribution. Call out the $10 super chat. I don't think the green car is sus. I think it could be exculpatory. Interesting. Recently painted. If painted on 11/14, then this car that was once white could have been just looking for a parking spot. Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Let me know. Like I said, thank you again for the contribution to the community. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you do, like I said, go ahead and send me something if you do find something, and that's what it's there for. It's for everybody to kind of go through. That's why I don't even have anything covering the screen. I could easily put up a watermark or something, but I don't. I'm like, you know what? Let's just let people use it, right? That's what it's there for, community. All right, so this one is John Kelly Profiler, and this is the episode. This was aired maybe a week ago, 3 days ago. The Perfect Crime.
Stupid mistake.
And he's got some guests on there too. I'm not sure who. It says Private Investigator Dustin Rank and somebody else. All right, here we go.
Hi, everybody. John Kelly Profiler here, and welcome to today's finale on Brian Kohberger. I just
Brian Kohberger.
want to welcome all of you. We're very lucky to have Dustin Rank. Dustin Rank is here today.
Thank you, C-Dog. Appreciate
He's a
that.
private detective, licensed private detective. He knows the streets. He knows the streets well. He knows people very well. And he's a real gin. He knows what he's doing. And, of course, we have our producer, Leah, who's sitting in with us today because this case has really grabbed her. Brian Kohberger really has Leah's attention. No question about it. Right now, I want to send out our condolences to Kelly Gonzalez and her family, to the family of Madison Mogan, to Zana Kernoble and her family, and to Ethan Chapin and his family. What I also want to bring out is very important, that Brian Kohberger is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. He is presumed innocent until found guilty in a court of law. And at this time, I want to bring out my book. I want to thank you all so much for all your purchases, for all your kind words and feedback. I can't thank you enough. Discovering Lazarus, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly of John Kelly. How I kicked an extreme drug habit.
No, Jen. He's talking about a car that was in the back parking lot, not the Linda Lane stuff. It's a green car from the back parking lot based off of the footage that I have.
Became a counselor, psychotherapist, and eventually a profiler. Thank you all so much. I truly appreciate you so much. You know, today...
KC3, what happened? Report overnight. Dude, one was found on a chair frozen. The two were on the ground. Now we're hearing something that the dude that was frozen in the chair was the dude that was in the porch. I don't know. It's all confusing right now.
Hey, and looking at Brian Koberger, I mean, I have to tell you that,
Ooh, excuse me.
You know, this guy who's got a degree in psychology, he's got a master's in criminal justice, moving on to get a doctorate, and he was a student in a doctorate program up at Idaho University in criminology. He wanted to become a doctor of criminologist. I mean, I think the guy's a moron. It just blows me away as I'm looking at all this, you know, that he's a moron. If he's the killer, you know, with all this education and everything else, and being on the street as a heroin addict for a year or two, whatever it was, when he was involved in the drug culture. I mean, I just see the guys making, you know, these stupid mistakes, and everybody thinking, you know, that he's so brilliant because he's got these degrees. I just think the guy's a moron. I always did right from the beginning. I thought whoever the killer is got to be a moron, because in this day and time, okay, with all the surveillance and the cameras and tracking and the DNA especially, I mean, how can you possibly run into a house, you know, where there's, you know, 2 people or more, and with a knife, and, you know, kill a bunch of people and expect to get away with it? You know, with all the surveillance techniques that are out there, you know, and, you know, the way they can pretty much, you know, keep an eye on where you are at all times. I mean, it's real hard to hide anything today, you know. So somebody with all this training that would make a move like that, to me, is, if he's the killer, is just a moron. You know? The other thing I want to bring out, and, you know, this is something we talked about earlier, but the DNA being found in the knife sheath, on the clip of the knife sheath. So you've got the knife sheath and DNA being found in here. I assume it was found in here, not on the outside, because I'm sure he wiped the outside of the knife sheath down so there wouldn't be any fingerprints. And I'm sure he was smart enough to have rubber gloves on. But, you know, no criminal mastermind as far as I'm concerned. What do you guys think?
All right, dude. Get it right. The inside button snap of the sheath, man. What the hell, bro? You're a frick. What the hell? What the hell? Dude, it's the inside button snap of the sheath, the most protected part of the sheath. Why are you... come on, man. What the fuck is this?
Do you have any feedback on that?
Yeah, John, for sure. You know, as we've been going through this case, you know, we're kind of building, you know, we've got to build a timeline, right? We start, you know, you start to get the information compiled, you know, from point A to B. You start to understand kind of how the escalations work. And, you know, I've seen this a ton, especially in the tattoo business, where you've got young men predominantly that, you know, maybe come from a, you know.
This is from 3 days ago, you guys. I don't know what the fuck. Like, whoa, how do you not know? How do you not know where the fucking DNA was at on the sheath? You know what I'm saying? How do you not know? I'm gonna give it a chance.
Oh, maybe a pretty good home, or, you know, kind of,
I don't know,
not from the streets, you know, and they're trying to establish, for whatever reason.
How do you not know?
Some social credit, you know, they're trying to stand out. They're trying to be something special, you know, and you see them kind of start to dabble around in some of the street cultures. Obviously the first place you're going to look is drugs, but and then you get into, you start off generally with petty crime, boosting cars, just kind of maybe some, not too, breaking into vacant buildings, stuff like that. But
I'm gonna give it a few. I'm not saying we're gonna watch. I'm gonna give it a few before I totally write this shit off. I mean, I'm like, what the hell? I'm sitting here like, what the hell?
Thing is, John, like those guys,
I'm gonna give it a minute.
They have a real hard time because they're not fitting in their normal social circle, and they might be plenty smart. A lot of them are, but then they start trying to operate in the street culture, and we both know, John, because we both came from it.
This is why I don't understand. Why is CJ not on more of these damn shows? Because I know fucking way more than these motherfuckers, and I ain't gonna say some stupid shit like that. I'm gonna be well prepared. I don't know what the fuck. Maybe they're just scared. I don't know.
Man, that's a kill or be killed world. That's dog eat dog, man. That stuff gets real fast, especially if you're operating with a crew or some guys and they think that you're going to turn, or you might rat if you.
It's all good, Danny. That's one of the traits about me is I have a shit ton of patience.
Get the pressure put on you too much. So I could absolutely see, and I'm not criticizing it.
I know, AG. I was hoping you'd be on. Hey, if let's do a show together sometime, AG. Let me know. Hit me up. Let's do a show together. We'll set aside a whole block, a whole show for a show. If you ever want to join, let me know. We'll do it together.
Anybody for that. I'm just saying it's, these young folks got to be really careful when they start adopting.
Maybe they will.
Whether it's dress or language or actions or drugs, man, especially now, it is just so cutthroat. And I can absolutely see Brian being like that. Is I kind of built this timeline along. There's just
you got a timeline?
Alleged instance after instance of rejection and not fitting in. As we put these puzzle pieces together, no matter what, if I'm working on a case or you're working on a case or the cop.
Where'd all this shit from rejection come from? As we investigate to see if the suspect in the Idaho4 murders, Brian Kohberger, committed the perfect crime.
Cops are. That's, you start to get a kind of a 50,000 foot view of kind of where this guy was coming from. And I could absolutely see him, this whole thing, especially you brought up the DNA, John. I mean, hell, that's like semester 1 of criminal justice class,
What?
I don't know how you even mess that up, but that goes.
Semester 1, bro. It's fucking touch transfer DNA. It's new shit, bro. What are you talking about? First semester is when you show up to the scene and you get your own personal protective equipment and it's already contaminated before you go into the scene. Come on.
To show you, he's playing way out of his league here. If that's him that committed the crime, because we don't know for sure yet.
No, we don't. Right.
We don't. But whoever it was
clearly hell?
out of their lane when they decide. And you got to think too. You got 4 or 5 college kids in this apartment or dorm or whatever it was. I mean, think about it, man. I mean, young kids got a lot of energy. They stay up all night. They're on their phones constantly. There's tech everywhere.
It's like when I'm on shows with other people, and they're sitting there and I'm on a panel and some people want to say shit like this. I'm on the panel I'm interrupting them on panel. I'm interrupting them. I'm like, yo, no. This is what's said. This is what's reported. Like, I'm that motherfucker. Then people are like, CJ, why are you interrupting people? Because people are putting out bullshit. And I'll interrupt a motherfucker to stop them. Like, come on. She does kind of look uninterested, don't she? I don't know. Maybe we'll get a laugh out of this instead of some thought. Get a laugh.
You talk about high risk, man. I mean, we've seen this with other offenders, where, they get a lot of juice from B&Es, right? Especially if people are home. That is a big rush for these dudes. And I could see a guy like Brian, man, when he's injecting heroin, when he's getting, I mean, you go to IV drug use, you went to the big leagues, man. And there's
13 years. 13 years he was off it, bro. As far as we know. Does he look like he... Let's be honest, okay? I'm going to ask you guys an honest question. When you guys saw him first get arrested, and I'm asking the people that know, that have family members out there, that have loved ones that have been struck with this disease called H. And I do call it a disease because I think every addiction is a disease. And I'm asking you an honest question. Anybody that has friends, family members, loved ones that have been struck with this addiction disease of H, did Brian Kohberger look, and I'm asking the family members and the people that have loved ones that know, because if you don't, you don't, and I don't want to hear from you. The people that have those in their lives, did Brian Kohberger look like he was hitting H? What's up, Sandy? Right. Well, we didn't. Well, there was some pictures. I don't know if you've seen them, Danny. There was some pictures. It was pretty damn obvious that dude was on H. There's a couple pictures. It's pretty fucking obvious dude was on H. But when he got arrested, yo, that dude, and then, no, he did not look like he was on H. Listen, when you look at people, you can see it in their eyes. You can see it under their eyes. You can see it on their cheeks. You can see it on their jaw. You can see it on their neck. You can see what that does to somebody. He did not look like that. Why are they doing this?
Nothing after that. I mean, there is nothing that good in drug culture than that. And I could see him.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, AG, you seen him. You know what I'm talking about. There's a period of time where it's like, yo, that dude, yeah, it's obvious he was on it.
Moving exactly into something
Back
like
then.
breaking
Back
and
then.
entering, or a guy like that moving into something where you would get
What's up, boss lady?
something that would hopefully approximate that kind of rush. But man, to skip these details, because we have some, alleged intel as well about, he's apparently the phone was turned off during the crime.
What's the best W Firefly?
People would be, your audience would be shocked if they don't already know, because I talk to law enforcement on a regular basis. That phone, this thing, has got your whole life in it, man. I mean, there is nothing that they can't find out about you. So allegedly that phone ping, the cell phone tower pings, and then they use triangulation. That was in the area quite a bit of that apartment or dorm, whatever it was, there in Idaho, multiple times for weeks before that event took place. So yeah, I mean, as tragic as it is, I mean, I can absolutely see somebody who's operating outside of their lane making some just, completely boneheaded mistakes like that, because that is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you were saying, maybe criminal justice 101 or something like that. I would believe in today's world, that's like just common street knowledge 101. Don't leave any DNA anywhere because you're going to get caught. And, I really believe if he's a killer, that, he handled it pretty well. I mean, there was no fingerprints. Remember, they said there was no fingerprints on the knife sheet. Okay. But I don't know how in the name of God anybody's going to explain.
Oh my gosh.
why their DNA ended up next to or underneath a dead girl.
Explain where the DNA is at, sir. It's in the most protected area of the sheath, and who knows how long it could have been there. Please state that, please. What the hell?
On a knife sheath that supposedly was the weapon that killed that girl.
Exactly.
Right? I think he's in a world of hurt if he's the killer.
Oh, speaking of who reads books anymore, I just did. You should check out my video that I just put out for the CJ's Cliff Notes. I read the final, well, not the final chapter, chapter 43, and then there's budget stuff after that, but I call it the final chapter because I don't really care about their budgets. We already went through all that shit and there's a scam already anyway.
I
Check it
think
out.
they can try and play the technicality game all they want, with chain of custody on the DNA or whatever, to try and get it thrown out. But there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, I think, as well here. So I think this is going to be a long, hard, haul for him. I don't think there's any question about it. Like you talked about the car, they were able to track the car, the pictures of the car, Leah, do you have any question that you think is interesting?
Yeah, let's ask.
That you want to
let's ask her. Oh my god.
answer it. I know you probably heard it all from us, but
Yeah, and so I guess the one thing, Dustin, you brought up, his phone, and like allegedly he, committed these murders. He shut off his phone during the time they were committed and everything. And like you said, it's just like crime 101 right here. What's this guy thinking? And it was his phone at the scene.
101. First semester.
You mentioned a little bit before. Can you tell me more about that, I guess?
Yeah, there's, allegedly, when law enforcement, busts into your phone, right? Like they get access to it, they can, because you've got GPS in it. So, it's recording all the time where you're going. If you were to look into my phone today, I'm bouncing over here, I'm bouncing over there, and that data gets stored. So, yeah, allegedly that those cell tower pings get recorded, and allegedly those were recorded in the area around the crime scene weeks before that event took place. So, and you're right. Yeah. I mean, turning it off is one thing, but hell, if you're going to go commit a crime and you want an alibi, leave the thing at home, or go stick it on a bus somewhere and let it ride around town. I mean, that's not even rocket surgery. You know what I mean?
Good point. Right there. Yeah.
When you talk about, I'm sorry, go ahead, Leah.
That's okay. I was just going to ask one more question here.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I guess with Koberger, like I saw in the news recently, I think just today, he's asking for the charges to be dismissed a second time. What could that mean for the situation? Does he have any hope or any chance of that? Or what's his plan there? What's his game plan in doing that with this DNA and everything seen?
Well, I'll tell you, there's no bookie or casino that's going to take that action. That's going to get thrown out. That they're going to dismiss this case. This is the biggest case they've probably ever had up there. We're talking about we're talking about 4 young people, students, 4 young students were slaughtered by somebody. Okay? I mean, there's no way, I don't think there's any way in hell that this case gets thrown out. No way. This case has got to be solved. I mean, it's just, the biggest case up there. It's horrific, and somebody needs to pay for this. These families.
Okay, hold on. Because I watched some of these before, and they were kind of interesting, and then a couple were like, John Kelly, criminal profiler, analysis analyzes killer news stories focusing on mass murders, serial killers, cold cases, and he is a renowned criminal profiler with over 40 television and mass media appearances. Kelly's profiling expertise was used in over 100 cases, including well-known cases such as the Green River Killer, Molly Bish case, Atlanta City murders, Woodsman of Worcester, and the Golden State Killer. Huh. Well, what the hell? His expertise was used in over 100 cases, including Green River and Golden State, amongst the others. Yeah, it was made 3 days ago. I mean, look at his... I don't understand. How do you not know, like, the basic facts of the case? I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't understand it. Let me see here. We'll go ahead and switch up. I'm not going to do this anymore. Let's see if there's any updates out there real quick. Let's see. We know about the body in the backyard being on a chair already. Let's see. Not seeing anything else. So let's see what else we got here. 1 second. I thought that was going to be quite interesting, but apparently it's not, because they don't even know what they're talking about. So I'm going to go to somebody else that I think might have some interesting information, hopefully. This is Legal-Minded Friends, Karen Cole. And she has a video that I wanted to show you guys for, actually, it's been like a month, maybe a few weeks. It has to do with, it's from a year ago. Similarities versus types of evidence. How can similarities be used as evidence in court? And it has Bundy on there too. So I know that this was like a topic a year ago, probably why they compared the two. But to me, it's more about, I don't think he's a Bundy, but it's more about, to me, like the similarities versus the types of evidence. So hopefully this is informative. I'm sure it...
Why is someone presumed innocent, and why is there so many similarities with this accused and other gruesome murders and killers? What types of evidence can be used in court, and what evidence is most likely to be used to get a conviction? This video will answer some of those questions. So let me tell you briefly what happened, as this case captured the world's attention, as 4 university students, only a few hours after they had returned home from being out and about with their friends, were brutally stabbed to death. They live close to the university in a 3-level home at 1122 King Street, USA. And on the 13th of November...
King Street? What the fuck is it with people? Oh! Why does he think the 300 is exculpatory? The 300 Chrysler lives there. It's a quagmire.
Between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m., the killer crept into their home as they were sleeping in their beds, when they had little chance to defend themselves. On the 30th of December, 2022, the accused, Brian Kohlberger, was arrested by the FBI. He is, of course, presumed innocent. And if he pleads guilty to the charges, this means the case will go straight to the sentencing phase, like it did with Chris Watts after he pled guilty to killing his pregnant wife and 2 young children.
Man, do you guys think Nicole Kessinger was involved? Let me know in chat. Speaking of Chris Watts, we need to do a show on Watts sometime. Man, I got so much stuff on Jeffrey Epstein. We need to have a Jeffrey Epstein show now.
If he pleads not guilty, then a trial will take place, and the district attorney will have to prove, with evidence beyond a reasonable doubt, that he is guilty of 4 counts of first-degree murder.
What's up, Susan?
Let me explain why someone is presumed innocent, as you may not know what it actually means legally. Being convicted of a crime is devastating and will have long-lasting consequences on the accused. And if a jury or judge finds that there is a reasonable doubt, an accused person must be given the benefit of that doubt and be cleared of all charges, because the burden of proof has not been met. The accused should not be treated as if they are guilty before they have been convicted by a court of law. So the serial killer Ted Bundy confessed to 28 murders, though he was only sentenced to
Ticket
death
number
for
78.
the
Thank
conviction of 2 college students. What do you think? To me, there's a striking resemblance in the way they look, but looking like someone is not a crime.
Okay, so I didn't think we were comparing Kohberger to Bundy. I thought we were just comparing the similarities of evidence used in court. Hopefully we get to that.
Let's listen
I don't think he was a Ted Bundy.
to a short clip about Ted Bundy's character.
Before we start the video, I will tell you shortly about who Ted Bundy was. Ted Bundy, or Theodore Robert Bundy as his full name is, was...
Yeah, no, this is supposed to be about the similarities of evidence. What is it with today, everybody? Holy fuck. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Maybe we'll just have a bomb show tonight. Because I don't know what's up with this.
Was born November 24th in Burlington.
What is up with
Vermont,
this?
USA, and was executed January the 24th.
What are we doing?
1989, Stark, Florida. Ted Bundy was an American serial killer and rapist, one of the most notorious criminals of the late 20th century. Bundy had a difficult childhood. He had a strained relationship with his stepfather, and his shyness made him a frequent target of bullying. Later, however, his intelligence and social skills enabled him to enjoy a successful college career, and he developed a series of apparently normal emotional relationships with women. Despite this apparent stability, he sexually assaulted and killed several young women in Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Utah, and Florida between 1974 and 1978.
So, to give you a bit more detail, Ted Bundy studied psychology at the University of Washington, and he got accepted into law school but dropped out a year later. Here we see the perp walk of the serial killer Ted Bundy and the accused. The reason looking like somebody is not evidence is because evidence must be probative, which we will discuss just now, as the accused also is said to be very intelligent. He has an undergrad degree, I believe, in criminology, and is currently a PhD student. So his education is evidence, as it speaks to his character. And character evidence is a probative value, meaning the DA can use it to demonstrate that it is relevant, that his background knowledge of the law is more than the average person. And it would be hard to believe that he had not heard of the horrific crimes that had happened, and the police were looking for a car that fits his car description. As a PhD student, he was a TA marking grades for undergrad students, and after the 4 university students were murdered, the small town of Moscow, Idaho, were in fear for their own lives, so the university allowed them to study remotely, and the accused continued to work with other students. If they could give evidence that the accused knew the police and the FBI were searching for a white car which happened to be the same make as the accused, then these students could be witnesses.
there's so many damn white cars all over the place. You could have picked any fucking white car. Come on.
who could give collaborative evidence that he, for example, knew that the police and the FBI were looking.
And I want you guys to see something, okay? Focus. I want you guys to see something. See the back window of the car all the way to the right, okay? See how the line of the window, let's see if you can see my cursor. So you got the line of the window, and then it goes a sharp angle going up. You know what? Let me take a picture. And we're just I'm gonna explain this as we get into the picture here. The back windows are different. Hold on, I have to pull it up here. All right, where's it at? There it is. All right. Back windows are different. All right. See this back window right here? See how it's got a sharp? See how it's got a sharp angle right here, right? It goes flat and then a sharp angle, right? Is that a sharp angle? Is that a sharp angle? No, those angles are curved. Those are curved angles. Curved. See that? Nice, smooth transition. Smooth transition over here. Smooth transition. Smooth transition. You go back over here. Boop. That's not smooth. That's not smooth. That's a sharp. So they're not. These aren't the same vehicles. This is supposedly the 2011 to 13. This is the vehicles that were being put out there. Now, I don't know what's up, because this had to be before. Let me check. I think that, yeah, this was before. No, this was after BK was arrested. This video came out 2 weeks after BK was arrested. So when it comes, if this is the picture, the sharp angle. Right. Yeah, right, Jen? Right, Jen? Yeah, this was from this video. No, I'm not talking the pictures. I'm saying the lady's video. The lady's video is from 2 weeks after BK was arrested. So that's the difference in those. I wanted to share that real quick. All right, we'll get back to this and hear what more's.
For the very type of car he drives. And if that is the case, why would he have not come forward to eliminate himself? Instead, we are hearing that he cleaned his car inside and out. And threw his garbage in his neighbor's trash bin, which amounts to very suspicious behavior in my view. But cleaning out a car or throwing out garbage in his neighbor's bin would not directly prove guilt alone. It would be considered circumstantial evidence, and a jury can draw inferences. And if a case is built on circumstantial evidence alone,
What's up,
then the
Rock?
defense can put a submission that there is no case to answer. And what you may not know is the accused studied under Professor Dr. Ramsland, who wrote a book on the BTK killer. Let's meet her, and then we'll look at some more similarities.
I never.
Hello, Dennis. I think there are other victims.
Unprecedented new confessions.
There is.
Damn, I'm gonna get hit for that. Jeez.
BTK, confession of a serial killer.
Wow, I'm gonna get hit. Why would? What the hell?
Good evening. I'm Dr. Catherine Ramsland, professor of forensic psychology at DeSales University, an author and an expert on extreme offenders, notably serial killers. As you saw on night one of A&E's all-new documentary, BTK, Confession of a Serial Killer, I've spent the past 10 years getting inside the mind of notorious serial killer Dennis Rader. Tonight, I'm here to answer your questions and also give you an exclusive sneak peek at night 2 of the documentary, which airs tonight at 9 Eastern and
Damn,
8
Rock Chalk.
Central on
That's
A&E.
crazy. That's crazy.
Without further ado, let's jump in.
That's crazy.
So Dr. Ramsland has written many books, as you can see on the screen, and to think the accused Idaho killer studied under her is chilling enough. But even more curious is the accused Brian Kohlberger. His initials are BK. So curious minds wondered what Brian's middle name was, though to be sure there is no similarity there, because the BTK came from an acronym.
Yeah, actually, we did. Oh my gosh, this had to be a year ago. We did a show, actually. Oh my gosh, look at how old this is, everybody. So look at this title of my video when we did a show on Dr. Catherine Ramsland. Look at that title. With the blue dot in front of it. There's no with CJ. The episode is in the beginning. Episode 101. Wow, we're on 474 this morning. I think we're on 474 right now. What's up, Mishy girl? That is the show we did on Dr. Catherine Ramsland way back then. Gosh, that's old. Episode 101. And don't make fun of me if you watch it and you notice how rookie-ish I am when it comes to the show, because I'm about that period. Let me think, because I was doing shows every single day for probably 3 to 4 months in the beginning. Some days I did 2 shows a day, and I did 2 shows a day quite often too. We're probably looking at probably about my 2-month mark. Probably looking about my 2-month mark, maybe a little bit less, right around the 2-month mark. So yeah, don't give me shit if you watch it and you see how rookie-ish I am.
This man,
But check it
Dennis
out. It's a good show.
Rader gave himself, which stands for blind, torture, and kill. What is eerily similar is that BTK committed his first mass murder of 4 people at the age of 28, and the accused Idaho killer is 28 and is accused of murdering 4 people, which we assume is his first. So is this evidence? Sounds a bit like coincidence. But could the DA use this information? Stick around and I'll tell you how this can be used in a bit, as I want to tell you about another similarity first. Okay, so that's a few similarities, but now let's look at another similarity.
We're 8 minutes into a 19-minute vid, so you know what this means, though, everybody? This means when we have a couple fireworks that are duds, it means we're just Means we're gonna have a bomb show tonight. That's what it means.
The Amityville murders that took place at 112 Ocean Avenue, and the slaying in
Amityville.
Idaho happened at 1122 King Street. Both mass murders on the 13th.
All right, that's so now the has anybody compared these two before? Amityville and is that Amityville? I never heard anybody discuss Amityville with this crime. This is interesting.
Of November, between the hours of 3 and 4, when everyone was in bed sleeping, similar to the Idaho slayings. Let's listen to a short clip of these horrific killings, and then I'll come back to you with the background of the accused killer.
Okay.
On the night of November 13th, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. burst through the front door of Henry's Bar in Amityville, New York, screaming hysterically for help, because his entire family had been murdered. His friends from the bar followed him back to his house at 112 Ocean Avenue, where they came across the bloody aftermath. 5 members of the DeFeo household lay dead in their beds, still wearing their pajamas, completely covered in blood. Each of them had been shot at close range in their sleep. And the story only became more shocking the next day when none other than Ronald DeFeo Jr. himself confessed that he was the one who had committed these heinous murders. But the night that Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his family was only the beginning of the terrors that plagued what came to be known as the Amityville Horror House, after the family who moved in afterward claimed that the home was haunted. And though that story has since been made into several movies and remains well known to this day, the true story about what happened isn't what you might think. The DeFeo household was far from perfect. Ronald DeFeo Sr. was an overbearing, domineering, and often abusive patriarch. His wife Louise, who had once dreamed of pursuing a modeling career, became a withdrawn background figure in Big Ronnie's house. Louise's parents never approved of their daughter's romance with Ronnie and cut ties with the couple until 1951.
I don't know if I can play this. Gosh, I'm gonna try. It might get clipped out though after I'm done. I don't know if I can play this.
And they had their first son, Ronald Joseph DeFeo Jr. Young Ronald, known by his nickname Butch, had a difficult childhood. As the firstborn son, his father set high expectations for him and dealt out especially harsh punishments when they weren't met.
Amityville?
Butch was also an extremely overweight child who suffered verbal abuse from other kids at school, calling him names like the Blob, Bucky Beaver, and Pork Chop. Butch wasn't an only child for long, though. In 1956, his sister Dawn was born.
What?
Then, in 1961, the DeFeos had another child named Allison. Only a year later, they'd had their second son, Mark. But shortly after Mark's birth, Louise decided to leave her husband. To win her back, he expressed his love for Louise by co-writing a song called The Real Thing. Around this time, they had also moved from their cramped Brooklyn apartment into a lavish home in the affluent Long Island community of Amityville.
Okay.
All thanks to Louise's father, who paid for both the house and the life-size portraits of the family that hung inside it. But a new house and a nice community wasn't enough to fix the damage that Butch's troubled childhood had caused him. As a teenager, Butch started to rely heavily on drugs and alcohol to cope. He lost most of his childhood weight, largely due to amphetamines, and regularly got into fights, a trend that only worsened when he started going to the local bars.
Friends at school of the accused did say he was overweight when he was younger and bullied at school. And he was also a drug user. But what friends say is called hearsay, and all out-of-court statements are hearsay, regardless of who said them, even if told to the police, and will remain hearsay until the witness comes forward to give oral evidence. Once they give their testimony in court, they can be cross-examined for their truthfulness. Though there are...
This is crazy. I mean, you guys really... See, I'd never heard... Oh, Rock Chalk. Thank you so much. Contribution. Call out Rock Chalk for the $9.99 super chat. A few drinks. How about them Chiefs? Much love. Going to the Super Bowl. Facing the 49ers. And we got 49er girl in here too. This is going to be crazy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Rock Chalk. I did not. I never heard. Yeah. Right, Mishy girl? I'm looking at that picture and I'm like, that's like somebody like Brolin and some other lady from like the 80s that were actors. Thank you. Appreciate that. I entertained the AH comparison, but didn't get far because there were other things. Yeah. This is crazy. I never. Dang. Well, that should be a topic tonight. Let me write that down. I'm going to have to get some prep. And if you all have any prep that you want to send me to add to what I find, I'm going to. I never. You know, I had heard it compared to other crimes, but I had never heard it. I had never heard it compared to Idaho 4. That's interesting. I'll see what I can find.
There are some exceptions to the hearsay rule, and I've done a full video on hearsay evidence, which you can find on my playlist, Depp versus Heard, Case Compared to UK Law. This is a good time to bring in a clip from Duty Ron, who was on JBWFLA on what evidence is likely to be part of the DA's case against the accused. And then I will play a clip from Crime Time with Duty Ron and Ed Wallace on how forensic evidence will play a big part of this case, getting a conviction in the United States of America.
Do you think, Ron, that this was tip produced? Do you think that DNA evidence or forensic evidence came back and pointed them towards Monroe County, Pennsylvania? What's your inkling here as far as what the break in the case was?
Yeah, JB, there's a potential for all aspects of evidence, whether it's by the tip line, whether it was, from interviews and interrogations from local and people from across the country. But, my expertise and my opinion here from an investigative standpoint, I feel that the computer forensics, that's the cell phone data, the, social media accounts and so forth, these girls were very active, and all college students for that matter, are very active on social media.
Data.
So their social media profiles and so forth, the computer forensics, the forensics from all of the evidence at the scene, combination of that and perhaps tips, but I'd have to lean towards the science. And I said that from the beginning, and I'll continue to say it, that the science and the computer science forensics and
thank you, Kelly Miller,
from the crime scene was what ultimately brought them to this perpetrator.
Or tip led to DNA, and couple that with the fact that the guy was under surveillance for 4 days. He has a white Elantra. Right. Everything is pointing in this direction. Right. Now, could they use familial DNA or genetic DNA? Or yes, they would have had to submit the sample that was negative in CODIS, and then got to one of these specific genetic companies where law enforcement can use and compare. And maybe there was a family member.
Yeah, a Duty Ron clip I can play without getting struck. I love it when I can play clips that I can't get struck from.
Or, tip led to DNA.
Why
and
strike?
Couple that with the fact that the guy was under surveillance for 4 days. He has a white Elantra. Right. Everything is pointing in this direction. Right. Now, could they use familial DNA or genetic DNA? Or yes, they would have had to submit the sample that was negative in CODIS, and then got to one of these specific genetic companies where law enforcement can use and compare. And maybe there was a family member in this person's family that had done something like this, and that profile was in there. Right. And they found a familial match. Right. And that all will be washed out soon enough.
Yeah, we'll get that once the trial commences, if there is a trial.
There's so many parallels I see here with one of our famous serial killers that thought he was smarter than everybody else. Attacked young ladies in Florida in a college, in a sorority house. Yes, Ted Bundy. And you know, he was you know, at one point a law student, right? But you know, he never did complete and get his pass the bar or anything like that. But yeah, again, he thought he was smarter than everybody else too.
Yeah.
And he got away with it for such a long time, but he was moving all over the country.
I've left links to all sources used in this video, and if you want to know more about forensic evidence,
Okay.
DNA, 3D laser capabilities, defense attorneys' views on this case, then Duty Ron has it all, as he is a retired New York police officer. Well, I promised you I would tell you how all these similarities could be introduced in court. What you may not know is opening statements are not evidence. Imagine if the DA pointed them out to influence the jury's mind so that they could make connections. Let's listen to Robert Barnes, Trina? An American solicitor, tell us how it's done. Then I'll give you an example of how opening statements could go.
A great way to get a jury to go in your direction is to get the jury to believe that they have come up with the conclusion that you want them to get to, and not to give them the conclusion. If you give them the conclusion, they will be skeptical. They will think, okay, this person's attempting to get me to think something. By contrast, if they think they uncovered it themselves, if they think they discovered it themselves, if they come to that conclusion before you're there, I mean, I know I'm in a good jury when I do focus groups, when I know the argument's working well, when the person's like, oh, I already know what's happening. I'm going to be able to tell you what happened before you know what happened. And what he's doing there is planning something in their head, letting them go to their own conclusion.
How's this for an opening statement? This man studied criminology as part of his studies. He familiarized himself with other famous killers, like Ted Bundy, who crept up in the middle of the night to kill a house full of sorority girls. He waited until the 13th of November, between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m., just like the Amityville slaying.
He had how many different ones?
And is it a coincidence his first kill was at 28 years old and killed 4 people, just like BTK Dennis Rader? He might have studied how to commit the perfect murders, but the forensic evidence he left behind will show this man could not outsmart justice. At the time of recording this video, the accused Bryan Kohberger is due for an arraignment hearing on the 12th of January.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get to these pictures, and I'll show you the different pictures. Hold on one second. We're going to go to the Oregon car. We're going to go to the Banfield car. We're going to go to all of them, so give me 1 second. And I will show you that the car that's in the gas station photo is, I agree with what some of you are saying, and here's why. And I'll explain it. Get to chat real quick. What's up, Susan? Brian studied an interview. Yeah, actually, the questionnaire, because that was when we found out, it was a year ago. Everything is pretty much right now. It's actually before this, I believe. It was like the middle of December. We were going into the questionnaire, and the FBI, I think that's like a normal questionnaire that the FBI uses, isn't it? I think the questionnaire that Kohberger was using. All right, so this is the Banfield car. See how it's got the sharp angle? It's not, remember? It's not, it's got the sharp angle. Boom. This one. This is gradual. That's gradual. So, gradual. I don't think this is. the vehicle either in the footage. This one right here is gradual. This one right here is a sharp turn. Sharp turn, not gradual. Sharp. This one right here, not gradual. These right here, gradual. So yeah, we've said this for a year. These cars, we're driving all over the place that night because that's what they're doing. They're doing the underage alcohol task force. So what are they doing? They're driving these cars all over the fucking place. When the police first put out a bulletin, right? White or light colored. White or light colored. The one is very sharp like Sentra. Yeah, they're two totally. You got this one and you got gas station. You got this one and you got gas station. Those are gradual. Oregon car, gradual. It's not. You see like a change in. Let me see if I can get it right. You see like a change in angle like this. It's not gradual. It's actually a change in an angle. So if this vehicle really is the vehicle that committed the crime, it is not a fucking Elantra. It's not a fucking Elantra. It's not. So we can go. I do plan on going through a little bit of Linda Lane tonight. The Amityville stuff. I want to say thank you to Kelly. Let me play. This is a video from Sean Austin, Paranormal Investigations in Music. Wow, that's a interesting mixture. Hold on one second. Hold on. So here's the channel. We're going to watch this short video real quick. This has to do with the comparisons of Idaho and Idaho and the Idaho murders connected to the Amityville horror? Here's the evidence of the strange connections. Thank you, Kelly. Let's check it out.
Guys, you may or may not be aware of a tragedy that just took place recently in Idaho, a town of only 25,000, where a homicide hasn't even taken place in 7 years. 4 poor college students were unalive while they slept with what people are saying some sort of Rambo-like hunting knife, and there's no suspect. Nobody heard a noise that night. And there's something I want to point out that's really strange connection in some way to another famous tragedy that happened many years ago. And here it is.
Just recently, these 4 college students were tragically taken from this world. Ages ranging from 20 to 21. No one heard a noise as all 4 of them tragically lost their life at the hands of someone evil while they slept in bed. There are 2 surviving roommates that were in the house as well that night. One of the neighbors even saying it's like something straight out of a movie. The eerie thing is that it actually is. A specific one. The Amityville Horror. The DeFeo family, while they slept, were brutally unalived by the son, Ron DeFeo Jr. There were 4 kids and 2 parents who lost their life that night of November 13th, 1974.
Oh, so 2 kids.
Nobody heard the gunshots, any noises, or anything, and still to this day, they don't know how. Now let's take a closer look at these strange connections between both of these tragedies. In the early morning of November 13th, 2022, the 4 college students lost their lives in Idaho while they slept the same exact day that DeFeos did in 1974. Also while they slept. It is said between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. the crime in Idaho occurred, while the Amityville tragedy, the same at 3:15 a.m. Both crimes, no one heard a sound while all of these people were taken from this world. Strange enough yet? There's something else.
This is interesting.
Then there's this. The original address of Amityville was 112 Ocean Avenue, which had later been changed to try and sway some attention. The number of the address where the college students were living in Idaho was 1122. To me, this can't just be a coincidence. Whether the perpetrator responsible knew of these similarities or not, I believe there to be some sort of spiritual significance connecting these two horrific cases. Regardless, I hope whoever is responsible is brought to justice for these poor souls lost.
Huh. Did he ever do more? That's pretty interesting. I might go through those one more time. I think the house was just a perfect house to do what they did. I mean, the house was, if you watch my incel theory from Queen Road apartments, I think it was a perfect house. That is crazy though. Let me watch
These 4 college students were tragically taken from this world. Ages ranging from 20 to 21. No one heard a noise as all 4 of them tragically lost their life at the hands of someone evil while they slept in bed. There are 2 surviving roommates that were in the house as well that night. One of the neighbors even saying it's like something straight out of a movie. The eerie thing is that it actually is. A specific one, the Amityville Horror. The DeFeo family, while they slept, were brutally unalived by the son, Ron DeFeo Jr. There were 4 kids and 2 parents who lost their life that night of November 13th, 1974. Nobody heard the gunshots, any noises, or anything, and still to this day, they don't know how.
Wow.
Now let's take a closer look at these strange connections between both of these tragedies. In the early morning of November 13th, 2022, the 4 college students lost their lives in Idaho while they slept, the same exact day that DeFeos did in 1974. Also while they slept. It is said between the hours of 3
the same exact day
and 4 a.m. the crime in Idaho occurred, while the Amityville tragedy, the same at 3:15 a.m. Both crimes, no one heard a sound while all of these people were taken from this world.
Damn, and both had pets in the house. Holy shit. Man. His whole family. Right? Nothing half-assed? I remember his sister was in a horror movie. I don't.
Strange enough yet? There's something else.
AG.
Then there's this. The original address of Amityville was 112 Ocean Avenue, which had later been changed to try and sway some attention. The number of the address where the college students were living in Idaho was 1122. To me, this can't just be a coincidence. Whether the perpetrator responsible knew of these similarities or not, I believe there to be some sort of spiritual significance connecting these two.
What movie? What movie are you talking about? Dang, huh? Yeah, let me know what movie. All right, man. We're gonna have a good show tonight. Shit. I'll be on back tonight, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. Let me see real quick. Here's a rundown of those people. We covered it in the breaking news in the beginning of the show. I'm going to go ahead and play this rundown of those people that were unalived out in the desert there. And I'm going to see if there's anything else breaking real quick.
Tonight, officials say it was all over an illicit marijuana grow. And these are the 5 suspects, all in their 20s. The bodies were found last week near El Mirage, north of Adelanto. Investigators say they tracked one of the victims' phones to find them after they called 911, saying...
And that's crazy. That's where the car's at. And look what's right. You know what that means. You know what that means. Where do you see the movie at? I'll check it out. Where do you it's called 2 Days Back. Where do you see the movie? What's up, Michelle? 2 Days Back. Oh, cool. Nice. I got Amazon Prime. Thank gosh I have that because I get my drone in like 2 days. So I'm excited to take that out and go get some footage and take it on my road trips because I got 2 of them coming up that I would really love to have drone because in one of the cases, there's only one person that has drone footage up. So why don't CJ do it? I don't have Prime. Well, there's got to be a way we can... There's got to be a way. We'll figure something out. Like I said, speaking of, I'm going to promote this again because I'm going to be getting some updates going. So we might be able to do like nights where I can, we can watch a movie from my source and, maybe that could be one of them or something. But I'm going to be having more updates coming out on Discord. So if you want to join, there's the link to that, and that'll be the chat beyond the show. And like I said, if you have any kind of links you want to send, especially with Discord, those come in handy. Just like the video from Kelly Miller. Thank you for the video that we watched about the similarity there from Sean Austin. It's because I heard the ding in my ear, and I was like, ooh, look at that. It's the best way to, and also when I click on it, it just shoots it open in a tab. So it's beautiful. So if you ever want to do desert barbecue, yeah, unfortunately.
They were shot. They say 4 of the
What's up,
victims
Sussin?
were burned as well. The San Bernardino County
Aw.
Sheriff's Department says this area known...
Contribution call out. I want to say thank you so much. The membership. Appreciate that. I thought that popped up earlier. Can't chat. It's all good. We'll be I'm gonna let this play out here, and then I'm gonna take a look, see if there's anything breaking real quick, see if there's any documents, and then I'm gonna get some extra prep ready for tonight's show for Idaho4 with any updates of the Kansas City 3 case.
Is known for illicit marijuana grows, and he blames Prop 64, which reduced many felony marijuana citations to misdemeanors.
We've unleashed a plague in this California, and the plague is the black market of marijuana and certainly cartel
Aw.
activity and a number of victims that are out there.
And our KCAL News reporter Nicole Comstock will have much more on this case ahead at 8. Now, Malibu is bringing CHP patrols back to the city to improve.
What the hell is this? Okay. I guess that was it for the... I didn't even get a chance to check my breaking news. Damn. All right, hold on. We'll take a stroll here. Yeah, we'll get into some of the Linda Lane stuff tonight too. But yeah, those you just look at the all you have to do. You don't have to transpose vehicles on this or that because really you can put like 18 motherfuckers on them. You just have to look at the very back of the window and see if it has a sharp curve or a slight. Let me see here. I'm not seeing nothing. Nope. There's no updates. Let me see if there's any new documents from Idaho. And there's nothing for that either. I don't know what's up with YouTube, man. YouTube needs to fix their shit. It's getting crazy. People just... What's up, Fallon? Coming out, Idaho4 creepy. Just saw on Netflix. Really interesting. I will watch tonight. Might check out the 700,000 trucker convoy. Man, yeah, I never knew. Thank you, Kelly, for shooting that video. I never saw it like that. All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out this morning, this early afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for today's show. I'm going to be putting out a notification for this evening here in about 15 minutes. You'll see something pop up. And if you did join the Discord Everybody chat for the Evil CJ show, you will see the video notification drop in there as well. And any updates if anything is happening outside of the show. So I want to say thank you all for hanging out. Appreciate you. Missed you guys in the daytime very much. It's driving me nuts not being able to be on as much, but I'm glad that I was able to today without any interruptions. So thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Come back on over tonight if you're not busy, and I'll have that noti out here soon. Thank you all. Appreciate you. Please hit the sub if you're new. If you haven't hit the sub yet, you'll see it glowing there at the bottom. And please hit the like if you haven't yet. It is the free way to help. See you guys tonight. Thank you.